Hello and welcome to unMadeGaming, guys. It is Wednesday, and that means we are back for Blades in the Dark 6 and 20. It is Wednesday, my dudes. And we are here for some sweet, sweet gaming. And by sweet, I mean murderous, rage-filled, sarcastic, death-infused. Johnny, you have a skeptical look like we aren't going to kill all of your plans and NPCs. So tell us, who are you? What are you doing here? And who should we kill today?
My name is Johnny. I run the VideostoreCowboy channel, and I'm the GM for 6 and 20. I'm skeptical because nobody officially died last week, and also you are not assassins.
I know. You'd think by the number of people we killed.
So here's the most interesting part about last week, and this is when you where do we begin? Where do we start? This is what I'm going to say. I have no idea because all we did last week really was play with some orphans and learn about Raymond's past. So shit, man, I don't know what's going on now.
And almost get possessed.
This is literally how I run my Thursday game, where the night before on Wednesday I'm like, hey guys, what do you want to do tomorrow? And they're like, ah man, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. Because I don't have anything for you either. Speaking of getting possessed and not having anything for you either, Miss Ginger Ninja, who are you? What are you doing here? And who are you playing today?
I'm Miss Ginger Ninja, and I'll be reprising my role as OC. Are we going to get possessed? Are we probably going to kill more people? Will we ever fix Nye? Probably not to any of those.
That's true.
So I'm going to run.
That is
no, you're supposed to say tune in next time. Same bat time. Same bat.
Tune in 5 minutes from now to find out if I die.
To find out who dies first. Asked in chat, can we play with Raymond? I think that's a personal question from Trendane. So, Crit Dice Gaming Slade, who are you? What are you doing here? And can we play with Raymond?
For $30 an hour, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But hi, I'm Slade for Crit Dice Gaming. I will be reprising my role as Raymond Bowerstone, the mental case at the moment. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens today.
Fantastic. And the man, the myth, the legend himself, the guy I've been watching play Cthulhu all week long, Greg, who are you? What are you doing here? And who are we killing today?
I don't know, man. Greg, I'm playing Steam the Lurk, and it's time to murder. It's time to kill. It's time to advance our bloodlust and our absolute destruction and conquering of the city of Duskfall. And we took a break last week, put our feet up a little bit, but I think now it's time to get back on that murder wagon. Giddy up.
Fantastic. And because this is my channel, I do what the fuck I want here. Guys, go check out Greg's YouTube channel. It's also Grimjack21502 on Twitch, Twitter, and now YouTube. He has 4 videos, precisely 4, of the last 4 weeks of his Call of Cthulhu game. It's great. It's only 2 hours. It's bite-sized compared to most streams, so you can easily watch some of that. And I've been doing it at work. It's great. Go watch it. And with that, Johnny, take us away.
I have no idea where to begin. I'm not even fucking joking. Last time I left you guys, besides figuring out that you knocked out Raymond, I mean, you literally knocked out Raymond. Now, who is responsible for that?
Greg's real violent. Steam is he's an awful person. He's trying to undo his wrongs by helping children. We all know what you're doing.
Really?
Yeah. So I
Is that
started
the short
sticking
you're
to it. Yeah. Yep.
All right. So while Raymond has been knocked out, Steam has been building a brood. Nyx has been, I don't know what Nyx has been doing, honestly. What did you do last week? I mean, you just kind of hung out, drunk,
I did. Drank. I hung out and I read some books, man.
Yeah, it's just, I don't get it. And then there's OC, who was like,
casual murder spree.
Getting real. There was a big fight between OC and Steam. Steam had a bone to pick and lost. OC's like, what?
We did lose, guys.
Do you have something to share there, Greg? Is there something you want to say?
Well, going over and reviewing the fight as we did, it was a best 2 out of 3, and OC did win 2 of the 3 rounds.
If I hear technically after what you're about to say, I'm going to kick your ass again.
If you total up the score of each round like they do in a boxing match, I won.
So Steam got
2
more
points. You lost by 2 points.
So Steam got more points. But
when it went to the judges' table,
Steam got more points, but
that's not how this game
but
works.
OC got the
right?
knockout. Is what I'm hearing. OC got the knockout. She called the golden snitch.
You guys are terrible.
Go cry to Sling.
So where last we left us, I believe we're chilling inside of the Gallows Reprieve or Gallows Respite.
No, you were not chilling. I was getting to that. The last point that which we left was OC had a visitor.
Right. She had a friend. Damn it.
And that friend
That's a very loose
wanted to get up close and personal with her.
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, you know,
punched that bitch.
I just can't. I can't do this." And the ghost was like, "No, seriously, I think we really, you and I would do really well together." And she's like, "No, that's just gonna happen." And then there was a little bit of forceful action, and OC's like, "Get off me."
I don't think that's how any of that went. I don't think that's how any of that went. I think it was more like with her diddly wizard hands, ghost hands, and she fucking got in there, and I was like, "No, thank you. Kindly leave."
Fiddly? That's a word I haven't heard in probably 6 hours. Okay, so with that, we open up back to the point where Raymond's is knocked out. OC and Steam we're dealing with this particular entity, and she vanished after OC kind of rebuffed her advances. And Nyx is doing what? Is this all going on? Just kind of chilling?
Yeah.
I believe you guys were building up to a score.
Yeah.
You guys want to start talking about the score? And are we going
to be fair, we were building up to like 17 scores. We have at least 9 more scores to run. If numbers serve me correctly, we have at least 9 more to run.
We're getting through all of them tonight.
We're going to do as many as possible.
I don't know. There was some pretty okay. So I do want to take a moment and pause and say there was some pretty amazing RP going on last week. There was a lot of good story development that happened with a lot of the characters. It was a real crowning moment for the Shroud. So I think that needs to be recognized in the fact that you didn't accomplish the score. But guys, it's time to get busy. So where are we starting?
Well, so Raymond Bowerstone is unconscious underneath Steam. Ladies, fanfic. He is standing over top of him holding Nyx's spirit mask. OC is, I believe, holding her sword that she knocked him unconscious with. Oh no, she knocked him unconscious with a bottle. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You clocked him with a bottle.
I drank it first.
And Nyx is just casually leaning against a wall, watching this whole thing go down. Cool.
His parents left.
Yeah,
they did.
You scared his
like
parents
the
away.
kind-loving people they are.
Steam actually
Yeah.
stepped in and had a fatherly talk since now he has like 800 kids or some shit.
Yeah.
You're not my dad. You
800?
can't just adopt people that already have parents.
Yes, you
dick.
can. You murdered
Yes,
your
you
parents.
can. You can totally do that. It's allowed in the game. I sanction it right now.
Somebody clip that.
Guys, you can adopt kids with parents. It's fine. So Nyx just kind of looks around at the situation. OC just fought an old lady. Steam has mounted Raymond, and he looks to everyone and says,
Wow.
What are we doing? We have a great many things we could do. We have the Leviathan, your bottled friend, crazy. He points down to Bowerstone. I think Nicholas is outside of the lightning barrier. What about... I have 2 books, you have 1. He points to OC. What about we get the 4th? Do we close the loop?
It only took us this many months to get down to it.
Well,
Isn't that
listen,
initially why I came to you?
Listen, hearsay. Yes, well, I mean, we have other tasks. Ruling the city overtook reading books, I would say.
They can wait.
The city or the
It's
books?
time.
The city.
Okay.
This Marie you spoke of, we gathered information. Is it still good? Or do I need to send out my girls?
Johnny, if I were to look at my information, it would still be good. You think? What would you say?
Well, remember that it was basically 1 of 2 locations inside Crow's Foot. Given the fact that you have established yourselves as the dominant force in Crow's Foot, regardless if that information is going to change, I think you guys would at least have some awareness of it. So yes, the information is still good.
Okay, cool. It's still good, OC.
You're the worst.
Guys, I've had a weird week.
I think we sleep on it. And she looks over at Raymond and smiles at her like her own joke.
Clever.
Thank you, Steam. How's your face, by the way? Good?
Excellent.
Excellent. Then tomorrow.
Technically, I won that last fight. Just to throw out the technical nature of my victory over you.
She's going to walk over to him with a drink.
I do not drink.
No, like she's drinking. Maybe we could have a rematch then. So you could be embarrassed twice. She just laughs.
When did you get crazy?
About when they stole my girlfriend from me. About then.
Keep your shit about you, OC. We have more pressing matters. I will beat you up soon enough.
She'll turn to Raymond and pick up an arm and drop it.
Yeah,
Just.
I'm in ghost form.
he's out.
I'm gonna attune and pick up his ghost arm.
Yeah, he's going to become a problem real quick because this, like, he's going to get crazier and crazier. So let's go after this book because we're going to need the information therein to take care of the alderman here.
Would you like me to fetch someone to watch him?
Bring him with.
You sure?
No.
Maybe we put him in the church where he can't get out. As a ghost.
We can't put him anywhere where his parents can't get to him because he is partially affected and partially accepted by the field. So if it keeps a ghost out, it'll do him harm just as the Spirit Bane charms do, the Spirit Mask. We are in a bit of a pickle.
Oh, that reminds me. You deal with this, I'm going to feed the professor. I'll be back.
I thought I had a girl feeding him and taking care of him.
She did.
All right.
Yeah,
Then
I didn't trust you to feed a human.
That's
like,
fair.
Like a pet. So.
Yeah, I'm not good with pets.
OC knows. She's got it.
I broke my last one.
To be fair, OC wanted him broken.
He was adorable, but I broke him anyway.
Let's let Raymond sleep.
I think we leave him here. If he comes to and ruins the plan, it won't be pretty.
Then what do we do with him? You speak of him as if this condition is permanent. It's his mind that's shattered. Is that the lack of sleep, or is that something more permanent?
I was hoping the first, so that would help.
Otherwise, we are suggesting that we shelve Bowerstone. I do not believe he is done yet.
I believe we have to get this book to fix him. The faster we go do this, the faster we can help him. If you want to bring him along, he's your responsibility.
What makes you think it's this book?
The other three weren't very helpful.
To be fair, I've only read 2. This book is about hulls.
As I said, she read the other one. As I said, the 3 books were not helpful. Do you have any better ideas?
Find a whisper? Yank him out? I don't know. Let's make him a hull.
Let's wait till he wakes up.
Making him a hull, we lose our alderman.
I do like my toys. No, I don't have an idea on this one. This one astounds even me. For now, I think we just deal with him, his erratic behavior. It appears as though this is a good method when he steps out of line. Also, threats against his life work just as well, as he followed me into a very private area. A few well-placed threats settled him down.
Do we do something about his family, or do we wait till he wakes?
I mean, honestly, put them in hulls. You've seen him with tinkering. He loves his toys more than I do.
We could have them bottled.
She stares at you, pissed off.
It keeps them safe, OC. And also free of haunting Bowerstone.
We have enough things to fix. Let's get the book. Bring him if you must.
Give him at least an hour. It'll take at least that long to figure out exactly where we need to go. Or we could fight again.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
You're both pretty. I'll go find Marique. Clean up. And he points to Bowerstone's unconscious, slumped form. And Nyx makes his exit from the gallows respite.
You're just gonna find where he is? Your information already knows. We already know where he is, right?
Yeah, more or less. Like, I know, like, one of two locations that he's going to be in. So checking in with any of my contacts would probably narrow that down a little bit more.
Very much.
Okay. Yeah, give that time for Bowerstone. We can keep him calm and rested, so to speak. See if that helps him a little bit.
Yeah, and you can terrify his parents away.
We could arm wrestle in the meantime.
Let it go.
Please, no Frozen references.
Never.
Nyx is going to check in with... so I still have an asset to find Marique.
You do.
But I am going to check in with the current stock around Crow's Foot. Like, we have the rooks. I have a spy inside the red sashes.
Well, so you could just ask them.
Yeah. I mean, I can't ask them, but I have a spy in them that can ask them for me. I'm not back there.
Ultimately, what you want to do is you want to find Marique and take the book from him. Right? That is the intent of the score, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to use the asset? So the asset information is basically the location.
Yeah.
You could use that in an information roll, or you can use that as part of something when you get into the environment.
No, I'm using it to find him. Yeah, that was what the original clock was for, to find him. And it resulted with me getting an asset. So I'll use that in a gather information role to find out what his location is. So using the pieces of knowledge I have currently, mixed with the Rooks network, I'll tell the Rooks, basically, I know he's in a drug den, and I know he's in one of these numbered of drug dens, to kind of go out and canvass the area based on the profile I received from Needle.
Right.
So I will roll you. Yeah, I'm just sending them out to go do it for me because I have other shit to do. Just be awesome, I guess. So I'm gonna roll for Rooks, and bonus dice is 1 for my asset.
What's the tier of your asset or the quality of your asset? Do you remember?
You know what? I might remember.
It should be in your notes.
It should be in my notes. You're correct.
Because that then will be the bonus dice that you take. Or if the rooks, or if the quality is a bit higher than the tier of your rooks, then just roll your the quality essentially, and then add an additional die for your rooks.
Yeah.
And then if OC wanted to throw her rooks in there as well, she could also give you
tier 2 asset related to where to find Marique. Okay, so
go ahead and add
2 bonus die.
Yep, that's correct.
A 6.
Wow. You might want to put that on the screen.
I might want to put that on the screen.
You might want to put that on the screen. Okay, so you start to inquire, and the rooks begin to go out. Very quickly, they inquire at most of the drug dens in Crow's Foot. paying special attention to the two locations that was indicated. And what you come to find out is that he was recently moved to Madame Teslin's in Silkshore. And so now he is basically in the brothel that Madame Teslin runs inside of Silkshore. And he is holed up in a room on the 3rd story. He appears to have a number of items with him that he is considered protected, he's protective, like he's holding on to. And he has a couple of essentially mercs, hired hands, protecting him. Okay. He got spooked, according to the information that your rooks are able to gather. He got spooked after the Red Sashes basically had a crisis, and there's no leadership right now. And Needle basically confirms all of that for you when you inquire with him, and says that the last that he had heard, Marik was looking to leave Dulsquall for Aruvia.
Okay. So he's got a handful of hired guns, and he's hidden in one of Teslin's places.
In her primary place.
Oh, in her primary place.
The place that I went to. With
Johnny, can you put
both of you went to.
Johnny, can you put the clocks on real quick?
You got it.
Yeah, Nix wants to, Does anyone else want to gather information but while I'm doing that?
I'm sleeping, bro.
Yeah, you're asleep.
I'm going to ask my girls that work in her establishment, or people who have worked there since he's been there, and ask what kind of guard they have on him. Like, do people go up there? Does like, if they take people to these other rooms or other floors, is like no one allowed on that floor? Are there guards? Are there anything?
Okay, so I'm going to need you to roll your tier, or the Rook's tier, which I believe is your...
Oh, yeah, I got it. I got you. I got you. Courtesan's roll. Does she have any bonus dice for having previous interactions with Madame Teslin?
We're on good terms because I brought her stuff. She was pissed at first, and then we were on good terms. I also know two of her handmaidens based on the clock that I have going with her. And I have inside knowledge. Because she's competition.
Sure, we'll call it one bonus die for that.
Cool. Boom! 6.
Okay, so what you know, or what information you gather from the 3rd floor of the Red Lamp, is that Marik does not come in or out of the room. He has 4 hired hands, 3 who are incredibly proficient in physical, fisticuffs and blades, 1 who is labeled a gunslinger, the one that's labeled the gunslinger actually stays in the room with him at all times. Marik is taking food. There is various other little things, but he is not indulging in anything at Madame Teslin's. You come to find that Madame Teslin actually runs a side business, because this is an example of a side business that she runs where she hides people and then funnels them out of Dulsquall. So from Silkshore, it's expected that he will be transported by gondola to the rail yard, to the rail station, and will be leaving for the Imperial City on the next train, which is in 2 days.
Okay. Asil relay this information once they meet back up, giving it as an option to not just go straight to, the establishment.
Can I check, or can Steam check for any type of supernatural defenses, or any type of spiritual wards or anything like that?
Around Madame Teslin's?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to. How do you want to do that?
I have Ghost Mind, so if I can get close to it, I get a +1 die whenever I gather information strictly on the supernatural. So if I can find anything that looks like, Steam himself has been able to kind of identify in the past, like when we were with the sashes, how the room was warded, and when he went outside of Chaos's and he saw that the entire building was warded. Not necessarily something that Madame Teslin put up, but maybe something that came after Maurique was put in there, like some fresh stuff, some additional protections for him.
So you not only want to discover if there are spectral barriers or guards of some kind, but also the essentially the freshness or the newness of these protections.
I mean, if I can glean that as well, that's fine. It's not necessarily something that I have to know. I mean, if there's a ward in place, it's in place. But
right.
If I can also tell whether like the age of it doesn't really help, but it might connect some dots.
Okay, so what does that mean then? Is that what kind of an action roll is that?
For me, wouldn't it be like an attune? Like if
that's that's basically what I was going for, and you'll get that +1 because Madame Teslin's Red Lamp it's the oldest and most respected establishment in the district, actually in Duskfall, and it is located essentially in a pretty public place. So it will be easy for you to get close.
Okay, and the other thing I think would be interesting to find out here is the sashes put him there, correct?
No, he put himself there according to the information that OC got.
How does that asshole have any money, man?
He's a drug dealer.
No, he's not just a drug dealer.
He's the creator of the drug.
He's the creator of lure.
He's also a piece of shit.
There's that too.
I want it on the record.
How do you really feel about that?
Or do we have a record going? I want it on the record.
Okay. So with this, Johnny, it's not any type of position or it's just straight roll, right?
So they can be. When it comes to assets or cohorts, those don't have rolls, or those don't have position and effect. But because you're using an action roll, yes, this does have a position and effect. Given the circumstances, I think this is not risky. I think it's controlled because it's in a very public place. And if you're not, pushing yourself in a way to make yourself visible, if you're just trying to blend in and just kind of get a sense of the situation and the surroundings, I don't think anybody's really going to notice Steam doing what he's doing. Unless you describe that you want to do something that's a little out of the ordinary, then that might push it up to risky. There is no way that this is a desperate situation at this point.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not going to do anything that would call attention to himself. This is a reconnaissance mission, so...
Okay, great. Then we'll call it controlled.
Effect. Standard?
So ultimately, you're just trying to figure out if there's a protective barrier, or essentially there are protections in place on the outside. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, with Madame Teslin's, he could walk inside too, and what I'm assuming is a common room or a bar or whatever would go for the common house downstairs. He could sit in there and see if there's wards going to the second floor, or if there's some type of,
Okay, so entering in the establishment...
I can also give him a name of one of my girls to go upstairs with her.
You could do that, but entering the establishment and doing something like that will introduce an element of risk, however small. So it goes from a controlled situation to a risky situation.
What do you guys want? I mean, obviously, Steam would talk to you guys before he would go in. Do you want him inside or just like casing the outside of the place?
Would it give him a +1 if... Obviously meta, but would give him a +1, right? If he went in though and used one of my assets to, that would be me helping him.
It would essentially be an assist by you.
Right? OC doesn't have any input on that, except she only knows Nyx and I.
Actually, she knows you and Bowerstone. Nyx has never met Teslin. Season 1.
It was
Season one
was
doing
Bowerstone. Yeah.
Johnny, this is one of her primary establishments, right?
This is her primary establishment.
This is her primary establishment?
Who, Tesland?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is the premier establishment of Dosqual. The Red Lamp is considered the most.
I will assist you, Steam, in that I will go in dressed like Nyx does, flashily, and behave as though he is an interested patron, causing a distraction, allowing you to slip through as unnoticed as possible.
I feel like that's a bad idea.
Probably, but it's season 3. Fuck it.
Jesus Christ! is now the time that's starting?
I love that. I absolutely love that, and because of that, you're not going to take any stress for that assist.
So you get an extra die for that assist.
An extra die if you want to use one of the girls.
And because of the ballsiness of what Nyx just said, that other die from OC is not going to cause her any stress because ballsy as fuck move.
Okay, so do you want it still risky, Johnny, or do you want
Yes,
me to?
it is because you are entering inside. It is going to be risky, though. There is an element of getting noticed, and that is really what it is. It's not necessarily an element of getting caught or anything else, but information is just as critical as actually taking action in Dosqual. So,
Okay, will the effect stay at standard, or because I'm inside, would it increase to
it's going to go to great. Yeah, it's going to be an increase on both sides.
Gotcha. 2 bonus die. Pachow!
Holy cocks! We've never had 4 6s.
Wow, that's a lot of 6s, guys.
I want to fight you again. Now I feel like you.
What is the atomic nature of Madam Test?
The atomic nature.
I want to know it all.
Throws all the pussy at you.
Holy crap.
All right.
Yeah,
so
let's focus on how good of a distraction Nyx is. Let's just put that out there.
So let's start with something. Let's start with something. Nyx, you're walking inside. Please describe to me what it is that you're doing when you walk inside.
He struts inside.
Are you doing the whole John Travolta thing?
You've never seen Nyx strut before, but let me tell you something. Something to behold.
You can tell by the way I
He struts. In fact, do we have use of one of OC's girls? One of OC's girls holds the door as he struts inside. She opens it for him and allows him to strut in, looking like he not only comes to check the clientele, but he brings his own clientele with him to test her girls against what his current stock is, like what he's used to versus what she could offer. It has to be better than whatever OC gave him, or what's the point?
He shows up with his own stable.
Yeah. This is my normal. What do you have that's better than my wow me? Is his mentality.
Okay, so
he looks to whoever's in charge. I assume Madame Teslin isn't directly here facilitating this thing, and he just shows off the girl and says, "Whoever runs this place, impress me."
Okay, so that is the distraction. Now, Steam, I'm going to ask you one question, and based on that question, we'll then determine what happens next. Do you want to establish precedence for the setting, or do you want this to affect the engagement role?
I think with 4 6s, I should be able to walk in there and walk out with Maurique. But
do you want to establish do you want to establish precedence with the setting, or do you want to affect the engagement role? Because with that crit, you would definitely get at least 1, possibly even 2 bonus die directly to the engagement roll pool before, and those won't get removed.
Now,
you can talk about whether it's 1 or 2. However, I'm going to give you the option to do that, or I'm going to let you describe to me everything that you see, and that will establish what you're walking into. I think this is because we've never. This is like what happened the last time when you got a really kick-ass crit, right? And you set the storyline and you set what happened there. I want you to give you the choice of you can do that, and it can be amazing and whatever you come up with, or it can just affect the engagement role.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Please do.
If doing the ladder where I get to describe everything that I run across, with 4 6s is what we're looking at right here on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
What is the chance that Steam walks into wherever Marique is being held in his bevy of suites or string of rooms, and just chills out in Marique's room, finds a little corner, settles down, waits for things to calm down a little bit?
What is the chance? Okay, if you really want to do that, okay. But even with 4 6s, being able to establish that, there will be a consequence, and it will be strong.
I'll leave it up to the group here. What would you like Steam to do? Do you guys want a better engagement roll? Do you want me to... with 4 6s, could I remove somebody from the equation? One of the gunslinger? Or how far are you going to allow me to push this, Johnny? Because if I want to describe the area and in my description, I just so happen to run a knife over somebody's throat, is that something that can happen?
He's got a shaky hand. I've seen it.
It's I'm a heavy drinker, as we all know in this stream. So, what would you like me to do?
As he drinks.
Let's throw it out to the group and see what they say before I answer that question. Because what I'm basically doing is I'm giving you an opportunity to set the scene in a very strong way.
What if you just unlatch the window for us?
What if
this isn't the score? This is the planning.
This is the research.
So you can't just kill him. So what if you unlatch the window, or you look for another way inside, or there's another room that's not occupied? You check the ledger, and no one's going to occupy that room, so you unlock that window.
That would be
something like that.
That would be affecting the engagement roll.
Well, we could do a flashback to knowing it right before we started.
I think the engagement roll might be better than describing the situation, because the engagement roll itself is going to affect more factors. Yeah. That's just my...
I agree.
Okay.
All right, so just to be clear, you're giving up setting the scene for affecting the engagement roll.
Yeah, you said 2 dice, though, right?
I said 1 to 2, and it would be up for discussion.
I see 4 6s there.
I see 4 6s there too, but I was also going to give you an opportunity to set the scene and then position yourself.
I would say
that up.
But if you set the scene to a window's always open in another room, we could easily go in and kill the 2 of them and leave, is what he's kind of saying. Set the scene of how does it look upstairs when you go upstairs? Is it you won't have to get that extra roll. You and I, between the 2 of us, we're gonna kill these people easily. So it's up to you. I'm just pitching what I think that makes more sense personally. What are the chances we're not gonna roll well between the 2? We kicked each other's asses the other game.
Technically, yes.
OC wants a rematch. Next episode, flagpole.
I don't want to know.
Gross.
I don't want to know. All right, so, I'm literally giving you an opportunity to do some really phenomenal stuff, or you can take it from the engagement roll. And I will guarantee that I will say that you will get 2.
Greg, go ahead and paint us a picture with your words. I know you want to do it.
Okay, so Johnny, you just want me to describe there are 3 swordsmen and 1 gunslinger?
There are 3 swordsmen posted in various places outside of the room. There is 1 gunslinger inside. All that we know right now is that Nyx is currently looking to be entertained in the front room, in the essentially the down drawing area. The rest of the building is up to you, except for, in one case, on the 2nd floor, there was a meeting room, which is Madame Teslin's private room, which OC and Raymond have been in. Everything else is on you. Go.
Can I set things into motion that will possibly negate some of the combatants?
No. You can you can set it up so that your situation is much more that it's much easier for you to take care of. You can for your escape, for getting in, all of that. You can affect these guys, but you can't take them out.
Maybe there's a fire escape on the building next to it, so we all just have to crawl up that one and jump to the other building or something like that, or get something to get, you know what I mean? That we don't have to go through any of the building except deal with, we know for a fact, at least 4 people. Also, question, if you put trans powder in your loadout, this is just hypothetical, how many times can you use it?
Once.
You can use it once? You can't bring like 4 doses?
It has 1 use according to what's in the character sheet.
Oh, where are my swords then? I was trying to do this diplomatically.
Yeah, it doesn't count for like load weight, but you can only, it's one of those special items you only can bring 1 of. I asked Johnny about my silent stuff.
Should use that on Raymond then. I feel like an asshole.
I mean,
So you should.
sometimes he needs a good whack.
I still think that the engagement roll helps us out more here, because if I
That's
can't,
fine then.
I mean, what do you guys think? Just to let me know, and I'll do whatever you guys want.
Engagement roll. I do think the engagement roll. I would hate for us to plan something out so fantastically and it all falls to shit.
It's going to happen anyway, let's be honest.
If I leave something out of line, we could potentially make Teslin like pissed at us, which, you know, we're just
That
going
would be
to...
really bad for me as a
Right.
businesswoman.
That's why I'm thinking
Remember,
engagement.
season 3.
Mechanically, engagement keeps it... Yeah, but...
I did not realize I was going to set so much.
It's 2 dice for engagement.
Would
That's-
he? But would he know on the second floor, like, be able to at least look at the windows? Not like set the scene, but ask you, like, if there's something open or another way in?
He's going to get all that information. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be information that he would get. He got a crit. So
Okay.
based on this, he would essentially be able to go full bye-bye, walk around the entire place, get a sense of everything, not directly affect any of the 4 or Marique at this point, but he would figure out exactly where Marique was. He'd know where all the exits and the entrances are. He'd get a lot of information about this, right?
Okay.
And so what I was giving Greg was an opportunity to kind of story tell that a bit as Steam walked through this place unhindered, because he went full bye-bye. And, you know, no stress taken and all that shit, right? It was just giving you an opportunity to really kind of build the narrative around that. So,
Oh, I can go full bye-bye without any stress?
yes, that's the whole point of the crit, is that you would be able to do things that you would otherwise.
Yeah, okay, I walk around then.
Huh?
I walk around then.
All right. So, Nyx is in the front, downstairs, providing good distraction. Go.
Okay, so as Steam begins to ascend the staircase, initially with one of OC's girls, but as soon as he realizes that the entirety or most of the attention of the house room or the common room is focused on the arrival of Nyx and his bevy of attendants, he dismisses the girl to the point where she follows several feet up the stairs as if not breaking her own stride. He pulls back, and when he's positive no one is looking at him, he slips completely into the ghost field, going all the way, completely transparent. He follows the girl up as she turns around and is, you know, taken aback by the fact that he is no longer there. He moves past her, continues on to the second floor, noting rooms that are filled with carnal acts, pausing every so often to appreciate certain things. And as he continues down the area, he notices and picks out immediately the combatants, the swordsmen. He sees that there are 2 of them that are playing cards in one of the rooms that is usually reserved for these carnal acts, as they sit with a pile of slugs in front of them, pushing the silver pieces back and forth, as the hands don't seem to necessarily dictate a winner so much as a way to pass time. He sees them. He notes the gauge and the weight of the door on this room. He figures out a way to potentially lock this room and separate it from the rest of the house. As he continues on, he finds a room that is just recently unoccupied by a patron and a girl. He goes inside, walking through the mixture of smells of sex and candy and perfume. And as he gets in, he checks the window, looking for any type of ward. And seeing none, he tests it. It opens. He closes it. He leaves it open. And as he gets further into the second floor and gets further into the suite that would be dictated by Maurique's presence, as there is a guard stationed outside of a door
that while it appears like any of the other doors, is immediately identified by Steam as containing their prey. And as he walks by, he does not stop. He goes completely past him, or third floor. He goes completely past him and turns, gauges the man, sees if he, favors one leg, sees if he's keeping his weight, shifting it from right to left, watches him walk, watches to see how his eyes track, see if he can be distracted, see when he is distracted. He watches long enough to see when he pisses, what he drinks, how long he stands there, when the shifts change, when one goes to get cards, when the other one comes back, when they eat. He marks all of this down. And during all of this, he's listening. He sees that the girls are not coming further down this room, even though there are several rooms beyond this. They stop, enter into the rooms further down the hall closest to the stairs, but they do not pass the room of Marique. And so, during one of the shift changes, he silently opens the door, what he considers to be next to Marique's. He goes over, looks in the field for the window to see if it's warded. It is not. He opens it, slides the window up, leaves it open, maybe a half inch, puts his ear against the wall and listens. He hears the gait of somebody walking inside, a shuffle, a cough, the smell of stale tobacco. And as he turns and looks, he sticks his head outside the window. Nothing. And when he believes it is safe, when he hears silence, he phases through the wall and into the room of Marique. And as he is standing there inside this unwarded room, he sees that there is indeed a gunslinger standing there, casually cleaning his weapon, which seems to already be spotless. And as he watches, he sees how many shots the man has. Knowing his sister, knowing a true gunslinger, he sees how many weapons this man carries, sees how many shots he can get off, checks the weight of the balls that he's carrying in more ways than one. Looks over and he sees Marique shuffling around, the piece of shit that he is, tugging at his scraggly beard, looking around, empty bottles, the mark and the haunt of a den of an addict as he's sitting there. And as Marique moves, Steam watches, sees the man's pattern, sees the windows, sees how quickly the man moves, gauges how quickly he could move. He watches them all. And when he pulls back out of the room, just before he himself goes down the stairs, he takes a bottle from off of a serving tray and he throws it. And as it shatters, he waits to see just how quickly the men react. The two at the cards take their time. The man at the door seems to be a little bit faster, but not much. There is no movement from inside the room. Steam is satisfied. Steam leaves.
Okay. Now, just for everybody's awareness, that's how you do information research. That's how you set precedents. That was amazing. All right. Does anybody want to do anything else?
I like
He's
to wake up.
still asleep.
I like to wake up.
He's still asleep.
I'd like to be part of this now, please.
If you come back, you're going to come back and relay all that. Steam.
Yes. Yes, what'd you say?
Sorry, you're going to come back and relay all of that to us?
Yeah, I keep it all to myself.
Everything, though. You know how we are.
Listen, new Nick.
Are you going to tell us everyone? Are you going to tell us everything?
Yeah, of course. He comes back and tells you guys everything.
OC would offer to pose as one of the girls in disguise to be able to take you upstairs.
Wait, what?
Dead?
It's Raymond's parents.
For the actual event.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because she knows what her girls look like. One of them doesn't show up to work. Find out first if from her girls if Madame Teslin is there that night. If not, poses her.
Yeah, we could go in. If there was a way that we could arrange to have the room directly beside where they're playing cards, we could easily just step out, have something to kind of wedge and bar the door, take two of them out without even having to fight them.
Yep. Could my trans powder, hypothetically,
take the guy out at the door?
Okay. Sure, that's what I was gonna say.
No, I'm saying if you take the guy out at the door, we bar the two guys that are playing cards. All we got's the gunslinger.
Yeah.
I can come through the wall behind him.
And I could act like a girl who just went into the wrong room because she was drunk or something.
No, we got these guys.
He's not gonna shoot. He'll tell me to get the fuck out, but that'll be long enough for you to poof in behind him maybe, and stab Marique. And then when he turns to look at you, I could.
Bowerstone, how hardcore do you have your shit about you right now? If you've got 5 hours of sleep, which took us this long to do all this, is Raymond functional? And the only reason I ask that is because
to an extent.
Nix and OC are going to be able to tell immediately if you're not.
Yeah.
Also, if we ask you that and you lie to us, I can also tell, and so can Nix.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's still different. Better after some much needed sleep.
You're welcome, buddy. I don't think that was a thank you, but you're welcome.
You got a solid headache.
You had way too much to drink, Raymond.
Weird knot in the back of his head.
Weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened.
Front. Yeah.
Slight amnesia.
So, are we doing any more information gathering, or
I would like to know if Madame Tesla's going to be there or not. If she's normally there on that night, or if I could find out right before. You said she wasn't there when he went to go information gather.
I didn't set. No, I did not. He established the precedence.
No,
I did not.
I said she's not running the main floor.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
She's not always actively in the day-to-day business. She has a bunch of things going on, so she may not be on the front floor. She may be taking a meeting like she did with you and Raymond that one time, or she might be doing her side business, right? So she wasn't on the floor. I didn't set the precedence that whether she was there or not there on the building or the premises itself. So.
Okay. So if part of that was to ask my girls the day of,
she would be there.
Okay. Would she have meetings, or would we know if she had meetings?
No. Her schedule is a very closely guarded secret.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else? Anything else first-wise?
Pretty sure
That's all Nix has.
Okay, guys. So that sounds like we're moving into the score phase of this. What kind of a score is this, guys? What type of an engagement is this?
Is it an assault?
Information.
Oh no, diplomacy, as always.
Assassination.
This is espionage.
Yeah.
Assault, deception, stealth.
Assault.
Assault.
Well, it's stealth, technically. It's stealth, because we're not assaulting the
murder.
building, we're stealthing in, and then if someone's in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, we are stealthing in.
So we're not burning the building, right?
Yes.
OC.
A perfect op would be we get in, kill as few of these guys as we can, get Maurique, get the book, get out, and don't upset Madame Teslin.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Because you just said something that hasn't come up before in this conversation.
Wait,
Kidnapping?
Wait. You can, but first Trendane says, diploma sassionage gathering. That's all of our. That's every single one of our scores. Diploma sassionage.
That should be the subtext or the the underlying text when you say the Shroud.
Yeah, diploma sassionage gathering.
That should be one of the stream titles, honestly.
It should be. In fact, it should be this title.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Steam, because he just said something that I haven't heard you guys talk about before. You just said, take Marique. The goal of this, I thought, based on the discussion so far, was that you wanted the book.
What?
So, is the book and Marique both the target here? Or
Did you look to see if the book was there?
No, he did not.
I did
You
not.
son of a bitch.
But
Well, we need that asshole anyway, so.
do you?
Oh, we're gonna have fun.
I mean, we all want parts of him for different reasons.
I want him dead, but OC wants everyone.
I want him to scream.
OC just wants everyone dead.
That's very different than killing
Listen,
someone. Just saying.
Everyone, calm down.
Part of the reason I'm asking is because lure was Sling's primary vice until she kicked it, right? And if I remember correctly, as Speedy wrote the backstory, Marique is responsible for getting Sling addicted. So I'm just wondering if it was just an oversight or if there was some subtle intention on Steam's part to kill the bastard who fucked with his sister.
We can't do it in Madame Teslin's.
I'm also super.
We are going
the two of
to
us are both
remove
worried
it.
about that.
Yeah,
We're both.
we don't need. She's powerful enough to cause us like several episodes of bullshit. We don't need that. So
Really, what makes you say that, Greg? I just don't. I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy.
You are a prick, Johnny, and we all know it. So no, yeah. So I mean, the PC way of doing this is we get in, we kill as few people as possible. We don't know who they're hired by. They could be Teslin's people for all we know. We get in there, kill as few as possible. Don't make a scene. Don't interrupt business. Don't leave a mess. Don't any of that stuff. Take Maurique, who's a piece of shit anyway. Exit. Send flowers the next day.
We'll try to go quiet. If it happens, it happens. I think is what we're. It's a kidnapping. Or a book napping, if he's also unconscious, cool, we're taking this book.
I mean, that motherfucker's not going to live real long, but I mean, he's not going to die there.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair. I just wanted a clarification because it was the first time I had ever heard that Marique was a part of the score. So
what if we push him out the window? That's weird. He
That's
fell.
fine, as long as there's a book in our hands when we do it.
Okay. So this is still a stealth, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Point of infiltration is the detail.
The window.
The second bedroom that no one's in. Window.
On the third floor.
Yes.
Technically, Nix and Bowerstone could go through that window. That's why I was asking about Bowerstone. If he wanted to Bower bomb up into that window, have Nix come up and meet him up in there, we can go in the front as patron and service agent. Get up there, identify the room. We come out, take care of the outside people. We can bar the door with the card members right after a shift change. Bar the door. They won't even think about doing anything for a designated period of time. Transpowder the guy up front. We walk right in the fucking room.
Just make sure that you make it to that room because the last time that you guys split up like this, you guys got drunk at the bar while Bowerstone got his ass kicked, and then
we weren't allowed to get down there. To be fair,
I'm
we tried to
getting
get
the
down
outside,
and we're not allowed down.
or I'm in an alleyway.
you were not allowed necessarily, but you could have made your way down there anyways. You could have found a way. Start some shit up.
So,
But anyways,
I believe we have an engagement roll.
Oh yeah.
well, we're going to talk details next because I suspect there is a slight change if Steam is walking in the front door with OC. He wouldn't be necessarily just his straight up stealthy self. Or would he?
Well, I could be.
I
They've
have
never.
several jackets you could borrow.
I prefer my hood, so I'm good with that.
They haven't seen him on the second or third floor as a patron because he was up there invisible. So
correct.
if OC goes in first, posing as one of the service agents, and then he comes in and OC comes up to him and
You would come up to her and hire her.
that's not how it works with Steam. You'll be coming up to me. Technically, they always come up to me. And so as they come up to Steam,
There's a fight. A fight's. We have plenty of time after we do the score for me to kick your fucking
He's a
ass
seasoned vet.
again.
So, right. So as we go upstairs together, equally drawn to one another from across the common room. Technically, you come a step further to me, though. As we get upstairs, right, as we get upstairs, we can go into a room that we can kind of prearrange to be open.
And
if
have
you-
a fight.
There's just they come in, there's swords drawn. I'm on fire. I'm just yelling at them.
You come to me.
You
That extra
fix
step
my
was
girlfriend.
I'm drinking Nye out of a bottle.
Fuck you.
Okay, wait, die. It hurts.
Okay. So that's what if we go upstairs and that's what we would do. Got my voice. If that's what we would do, then the other two guys go into the room right next to Maurique, and we wait for a specific period of time or a specific time of the day, and then we move. Very Tom Clancy. Very like Rainbow Six.
Good game.
Yes, yeah. Now you speak.
That did not answer any of my question.
I'm crying right now.
What is the detail? Sorry, what does your loadout look like, Steam?
Oh, you asked for details.
No,
Yeah, you asked for
asked
details
Steam.
first of
I asked
how
for
you're splitting
the
up.
loadout. But we got the detail. I wanted the loadout, but I was curious if there was any change.
The only change that Steam is taking right now is he is not wearing his armor. He is going in bareback.
Hey. Trenday, are you watching? OC, what's your loadout look like?
Oh man. I'm gonna go in with documents. I'm actually gonna get one of my girls' like identifications that I look like, red hair. I'm gonna have a fine disguise kit, fine clothes and jewelry, my trance powder, a blade or two, and an unusual weapon.
Just so you know, documents are not a cover identity.
Yep, they're not.
Well then, maybe a letter from the girl who called out sick, who I'm taking her place of. And it's a girl who would normally work there. A letter saying that she's not, because I'm going to be there before him, so I will set that stage with those documents to the owner, and then sit with the girls that I'll know and I'll fit in because I know them.
Yeah, it could be one of your girls, and you actually send in, a messenger before, like a courier beforehand.
Yeah.
That says this girl's coming. This is what she looks like, and it's you.
Yeah.
Okay, Bowerstone. Are you going in as Bowerstone or the bomb?
Bomb.
Okay. I'm assuming Nyx is just his ballsy self.
He is. Bowerbomb, what are you bringing with you?
Throwing knives in a grappling hook.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure we have climbing gear before we try to scale a
And
3-story
leathers.
building.
Hello, he has leathers.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Okay, so, time for the engagement rule, guys. So, 1, for sure luck. 2, no, sorry. Did Greg freeze?
Oh no,
Yes.
Greg's dead. Forever.
Greg, get out of the ghost field.
That face. What is up with that
I'm going to
face?
be honest, I'm scared to fight him again.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can
Oh,
hear
yeah.
you, but you look like a fucking monster.
You're just frozen.
You are a monster.
I'm
So
glad.
turn your
I'm-
camera off and on again, and then Mike can fix it.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to sit like that
Okay.
otherwise.
Sorry, Mike.
It's okay.
It just comes back in the same frozen picture. Oh, it didn't freeze.
That would have been amazing.
Wow, OC, you look amazing.
Oh.
Bowerstone, you've really changed.
My parents are dead and I'm emo about it.
Real sad game.
So apparently right now I'm the dungeon master. So guys, I'm gonna need you to make your engagement roll. 1 for sheer luck.
No. All right, guys. So 1 for sure luck. What's in your favor?
We did the roll beforehand.
That definitely has. That's 2.
I'm going in as a quote unquote known person. So I'm supposed to be there, technically. I'm the only person who would be, like, if they saw a group of us standing together, I look like a working girl right now, based on my disguise. And I already have
Okay.
papers saying, which makes sense that I would be there. So if I got caught, I'm like, oh, I'm just working.
Okay, that's 3.
I don't know if this plays into it, but Greg's description of the guards seemed like they weren't on alert. So I don't know if the element of surprise of an attack would help.
I think that counts for one of Greg's 2 awesome sauce dice.
Greg doesn't get those 2 awesome sauce dice. Remember, he took the description.
Oh, right.
He took setting precedence of what you guys were walking into.
I think knowing the
In that
layout
case-
and knowing
But-
that they're not alert are 2 different things.
Well, knowing the layout and knowing whether they're alert or not is actually a factor that's going to change based on the engagement roll, right? So it's really it's about determining that starting situation. These are factors that were playing into your favor. Now, first one was sure luck. The second one was all the work that Greg did or Steam did in respects to finding all that great information. I'm giving you guys that just because it makes sense and it factors into the role. OC being in disguise and being there as a known person, that factors in. Whether they're surprised or not, whether they're lax or not, something may have tripped them up that is not you guys, and that may be why they're on alert. Maybe they're about to move Marique. There could be a number of factors here, right, that could affect that, and the engagement role is going to help determine that. So that technically is not going to be an additional die.
Okay, instead of their state of mind or their state of readiness, how about this? The very generic, we know their schedule. We know when they do shifts. We know when one of them leaves the door, one of them goes to play cards, how long they stay, because Steam watched several rotations of that before he left.
Right, but that factors into the die.
Mine? Okay.
Yeah, because that comes into play as with all the information and that you gathered, essentially, right? And the way that you set it up, you're not getting more of an advantage out of it, other than an additional die or that one die, is because you set up the precedence of being able to easily take out two guys without even killing them, right? By locking them in. You know their schedule, so that's going to factor in and that's going to play. So from an engagement role perspective, this is about the randomness in the situation. This is about the starting situation, whether it's a positive or a negative for you. You still have those factors already in your court in play so that you can take advantage of them regardless of whether, they're on alert or not, right? So that's generally my thinking for that particular perspective. What else, guys? What else is playing in your favor?
The fact that we have the window open, we have an actual point of entry open prepared for us.
Okay, so I was going to say something a little bit different, but it basically says the same thing. Yes, so that's going to be a fourth die. What I was going to say about that was you guys are taking a two-pronged attack, and so you have a much greater awareness of what's going on in the two different parts of the building that are important to you guys right now. So,
we could take that as a fifth die then.
No. All right, what else? Anything else?
I want there to be something else, because I feel like there needs to be something else, because 4 seems low.
Well, there's some factors that are going to be playing against you guys, so...
4 seems really low.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
Anybody else?
Normally I have a consort die for bonus, but I didn't do that this time.
Maybe having my girls downstairs, is that helpful? To if someone's coming upstairs to check on it, they could distract from me. Be if anyone goes to the 3rd floor, just talk to them. They're not going to act like combat, obviously, but if they needed to distract someone, they could, so that no patrons or anyone else wanders up there.
Okay, so there's an interesting variation, or there's an interesting condition on that I in my head comes up. Would they do that and risk your ability to have future information? Because it seems like a pretty risky affair if they were caught doing something that it's like a plain distraction.
They wouldn't do anything crazy. They would let them go if they wanted to go. They wouldn't stop them, but they would Well,
you just said that they would provide a distraction of some kind.
Yeah, but causing a distraction doesn't mean physically hindering some. It wouldn't be obvious, I guess.
Well, then what's the point of the distraction?
Oh, honey, why are you going to the 3rd floor? Stay here on the 2nd floor with me, blah. Yeah. And then we hear, oh shit, someone's coming up.
Blah.
Right.
Watch out on the 3rd floor. You're not supposed to be up there. Or that room's taken up there, but go ahead. Something so we could hear them. It's more of oh fuck, call the,
So less of a distraction and more of a...
I call that a distraction, but
yeah, less of a distraction and more of
so it's more situational awareness.
Yeah, and just act drunk. No one's going to be so it was OC's girl who, no, you wouldn't. You would just...
No, that makes more sense. That makes a lot more sense to me. It seems a lot more risky if you wanted to maintain that relationship of having people there. It seems a lot more risky if you were to say call it a distraction versus being situational aware and just kind of acknowledging that they're gonna let you know if something's come up. So yes, that's 5 dice. Is there anything else?
I want to say it, but I won't. Anyway, now I'm done.
For love.
Okay.
Nope.
Thank you.
I had to say it because he was kind of sorry.
I know.
For hate.
I think 5 is it.
Oh, for hate. For season 3 ballsiness.
Take your 4 die away.
Everything. This is Madame Teslin's place.
She'll fuck over every place I have. We don't know what other power she has. Pretty much, if we fuck.
Wait a minute. Let me. I gotta clarify this because I really want to understand. So, taking out 2 factions in Crowsfoot doesn't scare you? Fucking over Madam Teslin.
They were weak factions. Madam Teslin, hell yes.
Only
Madam
because
Teslin isn't technically a faction. She's an unknown variable in the equation.
It's we don't know who she knows, and I have a clock for her. I haven't done any of it because of information I was given. So I guess it's going into this not knowing who she knows and how this would fuck us over. Because if our factions that we're part of, like the ones that we have acquired, if they're with her, it's going to cause a problem between our soldiers that we now have for our army. If it's the Arivian general, then maybe we're fucked with the Arivian general, and now we don't get the red set. We don't know, so we don't want to piss her off.
There's a lot of bridges we could burn if this cocks up,
especially if I kill people on them.
Have you met the Shroud? Literally, guys, come on. You guys have all burned some serious bridges previous to this. I don't think that it surprises me that at this point you're showing a level of caution.
Listen, we're trimming the fat. All right, we don't.
Okay. I can't. All right. No. So no hate, no ballsy. All right. So it's 5. So 5 is your positive pool. Let's talk about some negatives. I have 2 that I'm going to throw out the direction. If you guys can think of anything else, be honest here. Clearly, you have a fear here, so I'm not going to throw that one out. You guys can throw that out if you want as well.
Oh no, that's metagaming.
No, that's exactly what the engagement role is metagaming.
Ah, yeah, I'm scared.
Discussion is all meta. So,
yeah, I'm scared.
All right. First one I'm throwing out. You don't know ultimately what Marik's intention is. You know that his plan, according to the information that you've been given, is that he is supposed to use Madame Teslin's ability to move people through the city to get out of the city to go back ultimately to Aruvia. That is the information that OC was given by her girls. But you don't know his actual intentions. You don't have any concrete information directly from him. And again, Steam figured out a bunch of things, but he did not get this piece of information. So you don't ultimately know what his intention is.
Why does that matter? We know he's there and we want him. We don't care where he's going. We're not
because you don't know what else. You don't know what other protections or defenses he's put into place or mechanisms. This becomes a factor because, as described, Steam did not describe the book.
Right, but isn't that a factor after we capture him? Those don't affect capturing him.
No, so again, the original, that's why I asked for the clarification.
No, so we're getting him and the book. We're not going to leave the book in that place we're not just taking him.
The original intent, as you described, until after Greg.
Okay.
So
yeah. No, I got you.
You clarified.
Yep.
The intent was to get the book, right?
Yep.
And then everything else was about Marik and not necessarily the book.
Yep. That was
so you don't ultimately know. So that's one. But again, that's up to you guys. Again, I'm throwing these out. It's up to you guys ultimately. The second one is that given that you don't know Madame Teslin's business outside of the brothel, you don't necessarily know what other defenses she has in play. It was obvious that there were no spectral defenses. There were no guards that were obvious to Steam, but you don't know whether she's taken other steps.
Gotcha.
So again, those 2 you guys can make a decision on both of those. If you guys really fear Madame Teslin as a power in the city, I think that's a perfect third to throw on the decision-making block. But again, ultimately, those 3 are yours.
I agree with Teslin. I'm just not too sure on Marik because I feel if he is at Teslin's, that he's thrown himself in her protection. So, sort of, her protection is his protection.
I agree with that. If we want to add one general one for just the Teslin question mark, I'm cool with that. But with Steam being on that floor for as long as he was on that floor and in that room for as long as he was in that room, for him not to notice some type of additional defense mechanism or some type of leech trap or some type of
No, I'm not suggesting that it's something that he would have noticed there. I'm suggesting that it's like a dead man switch kind of a thing. Or if Marik disappears, if Marik dies, you don't know if there's you didn't actually look into his connections or his ability to. The only information.
Oh, you mean like if he dies, it gets mailed to somebody or some horse shit like that, or right?
Or something else gets engaged or something else comes into play because So having read the backstory of Marik, he's a pretty paranoid fuck, right? Speedy did a really good job in writing a really crazy backstory for this guy. He's paranoid as shit. So you don't know, because you guys didn't spend any time looking into it, you really don't know what you're going to be running into if he disappears, if he dies. So he may have plans in play, and then Teslin might have plans in play, which are separate, right?
That's why we're taking him alive.
Those are fair arguments. So
I say reduce it by 1. I think that's a good universal.
Because we don't know what's going to happen as a result of us doing this, as far as like any plans that were set. Doesn't matter who the plans like were made by, but like any plans that were put into place unless he like went missing or died. So I think that's 1. I think I agree. That's one thing. Okay,
but you don't agree about the not having any context on other things that Tesla might be doing besides the brothel. I just want to be clear about that, just so I because again, these are factors in play meta-wise that I want to make sure I'm being very clear about what you guys are and are not agreeing to.
If it makes any sense, Johnny, I don't think that any of the one of the 3 that you mentioned kind of merits a detraction in and of itself. But I think if like you put all of those together, that's a 1 die retraction. Does that make sense?
I disagree with you, and that's why I present them as a 3. But I will say this: I think that the 2 that I talked about could merit just 1 die removal. I think the way that you guys got afraid of, like, oh my god, it's Madame Teslin, we don't want to necessarily fuck with her, I think that deserves a second one, honestly, because you got your reactions were pretty strong until I questioned it, and I was like, so. But again, if you think it's only 1, then great, you guys are roll of 4.
We may have been trying to get that ballsy die too. That might have had something to do with that reaction.
That could be as well. All right, so let's call it 4. And who should roll this one? Who should roll this? Greg.
Okay. Well, Nix, you have to, don't you?
No.
No.
It's just
roll a portion roll. Just roll.
This is on you this time, buddy. Don't screw us over.
And make sure you put a good message, to make sure that OC gets her extra love.
Guys, this is the worst day in unMadeGaming history.
Why is that?
If you're gonna fucking bitch,
I went to go open my monster and I tore the tab off. The monster is still closed.
What you do is you push it down against that part of it and it'll open.
Look at this shit.
You're done. Push it down like a normal person.
I'm distracting everybody so that he can roll. Yes, Greg, 4.
Roll 8. Ooh, I got 6.
Hey.
Not bad. Technically not bad. Okay, so given that it is not a crit, which I was actually kind of hoping for because I was going to let some folks establish some precedents walking into the situation. Bowerbomb and Nix are at the window, having been able to scale up without anybody actually seeing them, and they're able to slip into the room on the 3rd floor. OC and Steam walk in the front door separately or together. That's up to you guys.
I'm going to be there beforehand, talking to the girls and mingling, kind of building up my story. Okay.
But it takes you a little bit of time as the time that you have chosen to actually execute this, which you thought would be one of the busiest times of the day, so there would be a lot more distraction going on, turns out to be a really it's so busy that it's difficult for you to get upstairs. But when you are able to get upstairs to the 3rd floor, again, you were able to separate yourself, and now you guys are essentially on the 3rd floor in position, ready to go. So we're going to throw it over to Steam and OC. What happens, guys?
Okay, well, at the appointed time, when the clock strikes whatever, Steam and OC would leave the room, maybe kind of still engaged in whatever type of technical work that they're currently doing to make the effect of this ruse all the more believable. They lock the door that Steam identified as being able to be locked, pull the key out of it, and then kind of heavy pet and kiss their way down towards the guard until he may or may not say something. And then all the time she's readying her trance powder too.
Yeah. She'll, maybe when he gets handsy, she'll pull off her jacket and have the trance powder from inside her pouch in her hand now, open. Okay. And kind of like stumble fake drunk towards him and kind of make small talk like, can you believe this guy? He doesn't even want to pay. And wait for him to say something.
He looks at you and takes a step back, just kind of in the opposite direction, but still with his hand on the door, just kind of looking at you a little strangely. He's taken back and a little off put by the fact that you're approaching him. But after a second, he begins to relax because he realizes that you're drunk.
I put alcohol on myself earlier, like to make it more,
Right, and so he relaxes and he begins to engage with you, and the conversation is short because I'm assuming you then immediately just throw trance powder on it.
Yeah, she'll say something like, when he gets a little bit closer again and relaxes, she'll be, maybe what I need is a real man. And she'll go to put his hand on his shoulder and go to wipe her nose and good job.
Okay.
And Steam comes up and grabs him before he goes down.
So it's not a thunk, yeah.
Okay, guys, so you realize what trance powder is, right? It's not sleep.
It knocks him on. He could just stand there and he can't talk or move. He's paralyzed.
No. He's under your control. It's a suggestive thing.
Oh, yeah, I made that guy during the one shot lay on a bed while... Never mind, we're not going to...
Yep, well, I wasn't going to bring up the past, but... Jeez. No,
it's connected to this world.
He's essentially... He becomes slack-jawed and kind of looks at you, and he's receptive to suggestion at this point.
She'll say, he's all yours. What do you want him to do? Go sit in the other room? Bar the door quietly? What do you want him to do?
Why don't we send him down to the room that we were in, lock him in that room? And how long does this stuff last? We don't know.
With an engagement roll of 6, it's going to last long enough for you to do whatever you want. So essentially, you could use him in this particular situation as another body, or you can remove him out from the equation altogether. Right?
We could send him in for us. Dude, we could send him in and tell him that Madame Teslin wants to talk to him in the next room and just fucking gank him in there behind the door. I'll just be waiting on a couch, like, suggestively, and you just hide behind the door.
We got the gunslinger and we got the other 2 guys in the other room. Why don't we send the gunslinger? Why don't we send the gunslinger into the... No. Why don't we do this? No. Okay. Why don't we...
but we're whispering to note.
Why don't we... He's not going to...
we bar the door first?
Well, this guy could just hold it.
Against 2 people?
I mean, how far does this go? I mean, we've got, in the next room, we've got Nyx and Bowerstone ready to, like, breach the defenses of the room. I mean, Bowerstone can go through the fucking wall and get into Marique if we can draw the gunslinger out.
I think we send this guy in, we hide in the second room, and we knock him unconscious. Between the 2 of us, giving him an old bonkaroony on the head, like we both roll for it and just bonk him when he comes in, and you grab him and bar the other door. It's just Marique. And our controlled guy who's just going to stand there while we walk in.
Why don't we give this guy my silent shit?
And go in and knock out the 2 other guards, and we bar the door.
No, fuck this other 2 other guards. We don't have to worry about them anymore. We send the trance powder guy in with the silence. It knocks out the whole room.
Done.
It doesn't matter what the gunslinger does at that point. He can't make any noise.
Tell him to throw it and then tackle the gunslinger. So we don't have to get shot. Not getting shot sounds good.
He won't listen to me.
It's up to you, OC.
I go over and knock on the door, or not knock on the door, but kind of creak open the door with it. We're working on something.
So she will she'll have them bar the door and just watch. And if they get loud, you open the door and knock them out. Between the two of them, they can handle that, right? Like watch the hall. We don't need help in this room. We've pretty much got this planned. So I'm thinking you have this guy go in, throw it down, fucking tackle the gunslinger, right? Just disarm him and knock him out.
How about we do this? Your original plan. Go in there and see if the gunslinger will leave. Say, hey, boss, we got a problem out here.
If not, he throws the thing.
He throws the shit down. Right.
Okay. So she's going to go over and whisper unnecessarily to this guy so that Steam can't hear.
I can hear everything.
And no, you can't. And the guy's going to look to Steam and say, you were beaten by a girl, before he goes into the room. And then he's gonna ask the gunslinger if he'll, go check on the second room, and we'll wait in the second room. With the door open.
You're gonna wait in the room with Nyx and Bowerstone. And you're whispering for him to go in and to draw the gunslinger out. I just want to be clear about that.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So
if he doesn't show up in 5 seconds, then we go in and it's silent. It's silent in there. We'll give him a 5. You're muted.
Can't hear you.
You're still muted. That's how mute works.
It's not work. Okay. Steam cracks open the door to the Bowerstone Nyx room.
Okay, this is what we're doing. We're going to be sending somebody your way.
Yeah?
Apparently trans powder works. It's vastly different than what we thought it would do. So, we're going to be
What does it do?
We're going to be sending the gunslinger in.
Yeah.
You guys need to ambush him. Can you do that?
Ambush him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How far is the distance for the silence powder? Does it last to the next room?
Well, if he doesn't use it.
No, I'm asking Johnny.
Well, remember what we did the last time, right?
It was a roll,
It was a roll, right? It was a fortune roll. So, and if I remember correctly, somebody critted on that fortune roll, Greg. And so it lasted for a really long time, and it was a really large area. So please remember that effect
it's uncomfortably large.
Can be uncomfortably large, right? It could be a terrible roll and it doesn't work. It could be a roll where it only lasts a couple seconds, or it could be a roll where it covers the entire third floor. And we never actually discussed, is it like an area of effect that just plans out on a plane, or is it like a sphere, right? So that could encompass other floors. And if people are having coitus and they're being loud, and all of a sudden they can't be loud anymore.
Shut up. Tone it down. It's not that good.
You're faking it.
Every other floor knows you're faking it.
All right. So with all of that being said, you're sending the guy in to draw the gunslinger out, and you're hiding in the other room. Is that correct?
And if he doesn't, he comes back and reports to us. He's not going to leave. And then we go in with the silent powder.
Okay. Well, he goes in. There's a bit of a conversation and some yelling. And it's Marique that is yelling at him, telling him that he needs to get back to his post immediately. He shouldn't have left this post. And the guard is arguing back, saying, well, I need the gunslinger outside. You know, this big kerfluffle. And it continues to get louder and louder as Marique gets more and more angry, and it almost sounds desperate with him at first. And finally, the guy comes back out, the door shuts, and you hear a lock. And he walks back to your room.
We told him to ask, and if not, to come tell us.
Well, Marique yelled at him. You told him to talk to the gunslinger. Marique engaged him immediately. And you heard all of this because the walls are thin enough in this place, because it's an old place, that you were basically able to hear the entire conversation. And it confused the guy because he was in his trance a little bit. So he comes back to you and reports that, and he's kind of shrugs his shoulders and says, I tried.
Oh, it didn't work.
Do you have a key to that room?
He hands you over a key.
Thank you. Sit on the bed. Don't say anything, and don't move. So, guys, what's the plan?
Let's go in there. Let's go in there now. We can silence them all. Take the book. Get out.
I take my silence vial back from him.
Okay.
Perhaps you don't just stay here.
I'm not staying, thanks. This is the most fun I've had in weeks.
Do you have another one of those vials there, Crush?
Hilarious.
Sit down, Nix. Come on, have some fun. Where's your sense of adventure? I
I'm
saw
not
the way
going
you
to save
killed
your
those
life
goats.
Every time you almost die.
Oh, not this time. Not this time. Now. We're fine.
Bowerstone,
Yeah.
can you kill a gunslinger?
Can you become a frozen?
Oh, you're
He
good
did
now.
on command.
Thank you.
Can I
Who's
what?
the
I didn't-
puppet now?
We'll go in there and kill him then.
Yeah.
Phase through the wall. Invisible. The way I taught you.
Invisible.
Get behind him. Drag your blade across his throat.
Yeah.
Before you do that, make sure Marique is not looking.
You want me to wait for that perfect strike?
That's right.
Yeah, I like that.
Do it correctly, Raymond.
Oh, let's have some fun. As he pulls out his dagger and begins to charge himself up and get ready to go full bye-bye through the wall and wait for that perfect strike.
Full bye-bye.
Yeah. So it's going to be 2 stress.
How much?
3 stress.
Okay. So you're going to go full bye-bye by doing that, and you're going to hang out. Given your state, your unstable state, I feel like there needs to be some sort of...
A fortune roll?
Yeah, I want to throw it to the table because there's the way
I
that
agree with you.
Well, the way that here's the justification, but I want the table to make a decision. I don't want it just to be the player or the GM. And the reason is because this introduces by doing a fortune roll, it would introduce an element of uncertainty to a situation that otherwise is working really well in your favor right now, even though you're having a little bit of a problem. So there are other factors that could come into play as well. But I think both Slade and I are in agreement in respect to there should be a little bit of randomness here. There should be a little chaos. What does the table think?
Here's what I think, that if he has a fortune roll to make because of his unstable nature, I think that the full bye-bye should only cost him 1 stress.
I agree with that. Because the offset is that he's dealing with that trauma, and he's already mad. So stress isn't as important in cases where he's doing something when he's in this essentially almost a manic state in a lot of ways. So I agree with that.
That's cool.
What about OC and Nix?
No, I agree. That makes sense. The cost balance ratio makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, before he does that, I'm going to ask Nix to go bar the door, because we keep leaving out key elements. We need to make sure we actually do that. So do you want to go bar the door? Quietly, so they don't hear it?
The door to
the 2 guards.
Room?
To the 2 guards. We still haven't actually done that yet. We keep talking about it.
Oh, they're in a separate room, not with Marique.
Yes, it's on the same floor. It's the room to the right instead of the room to the left, let's say. So someone needs to bar it. I'll do it, but
Yeah,
So we keep skipping over that.
Yeah,
we don't actually have to borrow it. Just tie a rope around one door handle to the one on the opposite side of the wall, like here's their door. Yeah, so they would.
Yep. As long as they can't get out.
Yeah.
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 Do we need to roll for that, or is that just a thing we quietly do? We want to do it so they don't hear us fucking with the doorknob as well, though.
That is definitely going to require a roll then, because if this is the kind of thing where it's just a quick bar, that's one thing, right? It would be obvious, given that you've already locked the door, you can make it difficult for them to get out. If you want to do it in a way where they're not fucking aware at all, then I absolutely think it deserves a roll.
Transboy, if you hear anything, grab this door handle and throw all of your weight into keeping it closed.
Are you a robot?
He's a robot, but also he can't. He looks at you as if he's confused, and then he looks to OC.
What did you want him to do?
Watch for the door to open, and if it starts to open, grab the handle and slam it closed.
Quietly shut it. Just pull it shut.
Okay. He looks at you and says, all right.
If it opens, try to get them to stay inside. If they yell and cause attention, knock them unconscious.
Okay. He shakes his head. Just kind of goes back to staring at the wall and kind of looking around. So you're doing that instead of barring the door?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what's next?
Are we still doing the silence powder? I think it's a good idea.
I mean, it sounds like Raymond's going in invisibly and stabbing that guy in the neck.
Yes, but we could do it at the same time, because as soon as he's dead, he's going to hit the ground, because he's intangible, and he's going to notice and scream. He already yelled over nothing, so... OC is pro silence everything, and we'll ask him questions later. Look through the shit quickly, like, just trash the room if it's silent, and then find the book if it's there. If not, it's
You
not
relay
there.
that plan, right? That you're to question him later?
Yeah.
Good.
Bye, Greg.
See you, Greg.
He went full bye-bye.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Hey, look. There's craziness on our
guys.
thing.
Hurry.
This is my life now.
I think it looks great. I like it better.
Perfect. So that's the plan, to use Steam's trance powder.
I'm
People
waiting for you guys
To
tell
use
me
the
what.
silencing powder, yes.
Yeah,
Silencing.
powder. Yeah.
Yes.
Silence.
That's why I didn't answer. I was confused.
Yeah. Are we giving that to Bowerstone to use?
No, Steam has to use it, I believe.
The trans powder?
No.
The silence powder.
The silent. Oh. It's a potion, I
It's
believe.
just a regular item. Anyone can use your trance powder too. You just have it.
So here's the way that, at least in my head, here's the way that trans powder works. Trans powder is you throw it into somebody's face, and the first person that they see, they become susceptible to. That's why
We're talking about
this guy.
silence potion.
Well, this is where I'm establishing precedence. So that's why he was responding to you and you only. That's why he wasn't responding to Steam. With the silence potion, and I believe it is a potion, you throw it down and it has an area of effect, right? It doesn't matter who uses it. It just has an area of effect around where it lands, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah,
We never had to go into this. So.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
buy, like, you can spend money. There's like things in the book where you can actually buy other trance potions or whatever.
Yeah.
So like I could have one if I wanted to, or a silence potion or whatever.
No, because you would just silence people so you can talk over them the whole time. Like Nyx.
You could give it to me. You give it to me.
So just to be, while we're waiting for Greg to come back, so Raymond is going to go full bye-bye then.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to have a fortune roll about the unpredictability of that situation. And for that fortune roll, the cost is going to be only one stress for Raymond to go full bye-bye.
Okay.
That is correct? Okay.
Yep.
So with that, OC and Nyx and Steam are then going to go in through the front door when the signal goes up. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to wait for the smash, because you'll hear the smash of the vial before it goes silent, right? Because it doesn't work like that.
Well, who will hear the smash of the vial?
So let's pretend that Raymond throws it on the ground. and breaks it or opens it, whatever, and it's silent in there, we would hear a smash and then it would go silent, right? That would be my cue to open the door because it's silent to turn a lock.
So okay, in my head when Greg used it as Steam at the speech, it fell, he dropped it to the ground, he threw it to the ground, and everything went silent immediately, right? You didn't even hear, essentially so it would be obvious, regardless of whether it went silent or you heard the crash and it went silent, it would be immediately obvious that he had thrown it. Like, because all sound would disappear.
So I'll tap my foot outside like a guard would, or like cough like a guy or something until...
You would hear. I mean, you're in a brothel, right? You would at least hear.
Not if it didn't do it that well, and it's in a small area.
That's a fair point.
So the smallest distance, I'm thinking, if he rolls and it works, the smallest distance would at least be to the door.
So you're
I'm trying to be able to tell if it's doing it, whether it works poorly, well, whatever. OC would probably think of that as like potency, like how good the thing is.
I don't think the only experiences that you've ever had with Silence Posting is that time that Steam threw it down. So you wouldn't assume that it wouldn't work differently.
I would just tell him you have 15 seconds. I'm just gonna say 15 seconds and then you kill him. She'll just go in. She'll just start opening the door. He'll think it's the guard. Whatever.
15 seconds.
Yeah, because we have to establish a precedence of when I'm gonna open the door, and I don't want to wait too long, or who knows what Breek's gonna do.
Well, I feel like you're metaing the situation versus just going with the flow and then dealing with any circumstance through a flashback.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that it's like I think you're over planning the situation. And
I think based on what happened at the rally, she would want to plan when it's going to take effect or how she would know. That's all. So she'll go with the tapping her foot, and whether it works or not, or that's how she knows or not, that's how she's going to do it.
Okay. All right, that works. All right, so now we determine. So there will when Raymond uses it, that means there will be a separate fortune roll about how effective it is. But the fortune roll that we're going to talk about right now is the fortune roll about him going full bye-bye, and whether there's a side effect or something else that happens because of him going full bye-bye because he's unstable. Now, Raymond, you get 1 die for sheer luck.
Okay.
What else is in your favor here?
I'm going to say training from Steam to enter into it.
Okay.
But that is really all I can think of as a positive.
All right. Does anybody else have anything that they can throw as a positive in this direction?
If it goes poorly, you're still intangible, and you could throw the silence potion. So you have a backup plan.
Can I? Because if I'm stuck in the ghost field, and
you would silence the ghost field.
Yeah.
Well, you could pop back in, I'm saying.
But this is what we're talking about.
That's what the roll's for, to see his level of control.
If I can't pop back in, it's like I've still got it on me. But
so you are well rested.
Yeah, that's fair.
Unless otherwise established, your family hasn't come back to you yet. They are still at least moderately afraid of Steam.
Speak of the devil.
Those are the two that I can think of.
I'm sorry, speak of the god.
Yeah. So you're well rested, and Steam scared your parents away, and as far as we know, they haven't come back yet.
Okay, so possible 3 there?
Okay, so that's 3 in your favor.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Sorry.
I mean...
Sorry.
Not that I can think of.
Not that I can think of, because this is not a speciality of his. This is something he's been training with, and unfortunately...
Right, but this doesn't represent your skill here.
So this is what happens if it goes well. You're going to go full bye-bye. Yeah.
That's not what's being discussed here. What's being discussed is that you're unstable, or there's a fair bit of chaos because you're haunted, right?
Yeah.
Those factors are what's going to come into play here. It's about your trauma having an effect on what happens to you once you go full bye-bye.
So if that hits him,
I mean, is this going to trigger? Because if you go full bye-bye, is it going to trigger another haunted episode for you? And all of a sudden, you're having a panic attack.
it's not the ghost field that triggers him. It's specifically what it is his parents' presence that triggers that haunted. So if when he goes into it and for some reason, maybe in his mind, like from mental issues, he thinks he sees his parents, or hell, maybe they're even there, then yeah, it would absolutely destroy him. It may even become useless.
Well, so it's not even about just your parents. There are multiple factors that could come into play. Maybe there's something in the room that reminds you of something from your childhood and it triggers a memory of your parents. There are all kinds of things. All this is determining is once you go full bye-bye, is there something that trips you up? Is there a factor that comes into play?
Are you in control?
Yeah.
Exactly. Are you in control once you go full bye-bye?
Yeah. It's
okay.
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm not fully gone yet. It's still building up. So that level of control is still there. Like he's still able to go in and out of ghost form and, reality.
But that's not what's up for discussion here, right?
Right.
That's your skill. That's the skill that Steam has already trained for you in.
Yeah.
You can go full bye-bye. The instability is what you see once you get in there. If there's something that's going to affect you and necessarily cause you harm or stress or other factors, right? You're already taking a reduced stress because you're taking the fortune roll in this particular case. It's about consequences coming in. That's all this is. All right, so that's 3 in your favor. Steam, here's what we got so far. This is a roll to determine the instability of Raymond once he goes full bye-bye, right? There's one for sheer luck. There's one for your training of Raymond, Bowerstone. And then there is... What was the third one again? Can't hear you, Mike.
Parents aren't around.
Parents aren't around. Can you think of anything else in the positive? Okay. Now, I have one negative.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna leave it to you, either you or the table. This is the first time that you're using this ability since you had that experience. So
yeah, that's true.
This is you intentionally choosing to do this, and this isn't an instability thing, right? This isn't like you don't have control of it. This is you choosing it for it to happen. That could have an effect on you. So that would be 1 die removed. But again, that's your choice whether you want to take it.
I agree with that. It's almost like this level of confidence, so there would be 2.
So that's 2 die.
Okay. Six.
And a 6. You guys are rolling really good tonight. Okay, so describe to us what it's like when you go full bye-bye and then enter the room.
So with this, he's getting himself psyched up now. His eagerness to get back into the field of the bower bomb and out of an office is almost overwhelming for him, but he's super excited. He begins almost shaking in anticipation and waiting as he takes in his deep breaths and remembers his training from Steam. And the thought of what's happened once before, of how it destroyed him, goes away only for a split second as he enters into the field. His eyes go white as he closes in and takes a step forward and just disappears straight into the other room. Coming back in a combat stance, looking around for those particular people that Steam and OC were telling him about. He locates his target and, like a cobra, sneaking up really close to him, drawing out one of his knives and just holding it above him with eyes wide.
Who are you? As Marique wakes up from a trance and looks at you. Get out of there! And he pulls a blade and then puts on a mask.
Pulls out the bottle. Drink.
And everything goes silent. Now let's figure out how silent it goes.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think this is the traditional fortune roll so much as it is. I think it should be your tier.
Okay.
Unless anybody has a disagreement. And that's 4 dice. So go ahead and roll that.
Why?
what really do you think factors into this particular situation when it comes to the fortune roll? What positive and negative do you think should be happening here? What is the discussion there?
I kind of agree. It's kind of hard to discuss, area of effect with pluses and minuses.
Yeah, it's
because that's pretty much what this is whether it works and the area of effect
and the duration, right? So there's 3 factors coming into play, right? I mean, if you want to bring it down to that, then what it is, then let's make it dice for each of those, right? Let's bring it down to 3.
I was just curious what your logic was.
Well, so previously there was a number of unknown factors going on. The nature of the crowd, the woman and her 2 bodyguards in Tabitha Keel. There was Raymond giving his, he was on the ground at that point, and it was uncertain what was happening to him. OC was playing defensive at the front. Nyx was right by Raymond's side. So there were a number of variables in that particular case. In this case, there are not so many variables.
Okay.
So I think, given all of that, it's either a tier roll or it's a factor of 3 dice. 1 for whether it works, 2 for the area of effect, and 3 for the duration.
I mean,
So-
it always works, right? That's how items work. They always work. Your gun always fires. Your transponder always trances.
Sure, but okay. So then let's bring it down to 2 dice then.
Okay. Then yeah, I would,
Right,
I
so
would do
that
that. I would argue that 2 dice.
Okay, it's area of effect and then duration.
Yep.
All right.
And your roll is
6.
1 and 6. Okay, so given this is not a crit, the area of effect is going to be significant, though. I think we said 30 feet the last time. Was that what it was? Something like that.
I can't remember, but that sounds right.
Yeah, because it did it up onto the stage while
Logic.
she was at the foot of the stage, so it was
Right.
at least 20.
So okay, let's call it 30 feet again because of the 6, and the duration is going to be for a pretty significant amount of time because it is a 6. So goes down, everything goes silent. Raymond sees Marie continuing to yell at him with the blade. Raymond has a chance to react.
So yeah, since he was sneaking up behind the other guy, and it was Marie turning around and yelling at him, and his blade was up. As he smashes it down, he's just going to smile under his mask and drop the dagger into the gunslinger's shoulder.
You're just going to drop the dagger like that?
Like no, drop his hand down.
So you're going to you're going to stab him.
Full
then.
stab. Yeah.
Okay, that's different, right? Okay. All right. So, roll it.
Hell yeah.
Is that a wreck, or is that a skirmish?
Let's say a skirmish because it was his attack that he initially was going to do either way. Gonna go risky?
No, you're in control here.
Oh, lovely.
You're in control because you have the element of surprise on this particular guy.
Cool. Effect standard. Effect standard.
Effect is limited because
Limited.
you're attacking him and you called the shot.
Would it take away his ability to, as a gunslinger, though, to use?
It may, but again, you called the
Still-
shot. It's for limited. That just because we're calling it limited, it would be like if you had your target is a very small area, so
Yeah.
if you miss that, there's a fair amount of
Okay.
play that could happen in that situation. But calling it very specifically, yes, it'll probably incapacitate one of his arms, so he's not able to use it.
Okay, let's go.
Or maybe if you roll a crit, what it does is it nicks an artery because you're aiming on the shoulder, and the blade kind of slides in and hits that artery that's in the arm coming in.
I'm going to push myself.
Okay.
So take 2 stress with that and give myself a dice. And 5.
Okay. So with a 5, the blade goes in. It causes his arm to immediately deaden, as he reaches in for his gun with his other arm, immediately goes like this and fires a shot. It passes through you, but it frightens you enough that you start to take a step back. So I have a question about going full bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
This is for both you and for Steam. When you physically stab him, the blade becomes real, correct?
Yeah.
What about the rest of you?
I mean, can it be selected by Steam? Is that something that can happen?
I think
I've never done it before.
Okay, so this is a conversation that we can have then about setting precedents here.
Yeah.
What happens, guys?
I would say that I'd say that selective would be something, but I think that there has to be okay, let's do it this. Just going into the fields to stress normally, not for Raymond, but just the normal powers too. Full bye-bye is an extra 1. Intangible is an extra 1. Flying like a ghost is an extra 1. What if making a selective rematerialization is an extra 1 stress?
So I will agree, and then also add a caveat to that, exclusive for us. We have the ability Ghost Echoes, so in our normal body, we can interact with the ghost field. So it would stand to reason that with the proper training, while in the ghost field, you could interact with things out of the ghost field.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely, but that's not the question that's at hand. The question at hand...
If he's in the ghost field, stabbing that man is interacting with something outside of the ghost field.
Right, but the blade, what happens to the blade and what happens to him after that? Does the blade stay in the ghost field as well?
No, I would say that like what Slade said, it's like a partial rematerialization, but it costs him a stress. That's what I would say. It's not something you can just do. It would be another caveat of the base power.
Right, which is why I asked the question again, because based on that ability and you being able to interact with things inside of the ghost field when you're out and vice versa, the actual object itself meeting something else is the question. About the blade. Now, him separately, if he wants to suddenly materialize and take a stress for it, I'm okay with that too. I'm also okay with him losing the ability to losing the blade as the guy moves and he stands back, but the blade materializes in there, and that in Bowerstone is still, or the Bower Bomb is still just kind of like distant.
Well, you know what? Technically, he could insert the blade in the field and then let go of it. Yeah. And then the blade would rematerialize, and like you said, he'd lose it. It would become part of the normal world, and then he wouldn't be able to reacquire it until he became part of the normal world. If that's what you want to go, if that's the rabbit hole I'm following you down, that's
I like that idea. I do like that idea.
That's what I was thinking as well.
He takes no damage when you put it in him. It's when you let go of the hand, all of a sudden he's got a fucking blade sticking out of him that he never saw, that he never, it's just, it wasn't there, and now it's in him. Which is the title of some book.
Okay. So I completely agree with you. And he steps back. The blade materializes in the guy's shoulder as the gunslinger pulls his other gun and fires, essentially at Bowerstone. It causes Bowerstone to kind of step back for a second, but he still is full bye-bye at this point. There's a blade that the guy is currently trying to fish out as he tries to get up and kind of look around to figure out where you are. And you see Marique just blazing, like literally blazing in the ghost field. And it's an unearthly kind of weird glow as we cut to OC.
She is going to unlock this door, open it, throw off her disguise, which gives her +1 die roll for I also get the initiative, but for hold on, if like a covert operation goes to shit, pretty much. I'm going to sash Marique to the ground.
Roll.
Pretty much what I did to Douche McGee. I don't remember his name.
What action are you using to roll?
I
Skirmish.
remember Douche McGee.
No, you don't. You were outside in the alley.
I remember nothing.
So what's the position? Do I leave everything the same and just add a die?
So in this particular case, again, you're catching him off guard, especially because of the silence. So I think the position is controlled.
Okay.
I think the effect is going to be standard, though. Given not only the element of surprise, but the fact that you really aren't calling any particular shot, and you're trying to suppress
Can I change
him.
it? Can I change it?
To
I want to kill this guy.
No.
Not Marik.
Oh.
The guy who has the gun.
Hey, that's my guy.
Would you like to, would you want me to leave him alone and tackle Marik? Are you gonna stab him?
Oh, I'm gonna have fun with this guy.
Okay, then I'll go for Marik, I guess, with my sash.
Okay,
so it's a standard, and then it's +1. I'd like to take stress. Is it 2 stress?
Depends on what you're going to do to push yourself. Well, no, you're right. It's you're going to take you're going to take 2 stress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want
So
a
I'm
devil's
gonna-
bargain?
Fuck you. I still don't have Nye back. God damn it.
No, that's bullshit. You have
her
Nye.
back.
Nye
She's a fucking
is.
crazy pants. I don't actually have her back yet.
Wait a minute. Time out. Have you actually spoken to Nye? No, you
Yeah,
haven't
she's
gone. You haven't gone like genie in the bottle shit. Hey,
I
genie,
go
are
in
you
there?
okay in there?
Can I go in there?
No, you can take her out though.
Yeah, we
Now's
don't
the
want-
moment.
No, that's
We're not-
technically not accurate. She could go in there. Somebody
That's
could
true.
hook her and put her in there, and then
If
you could like.
Listen, if you go by Pirates of the Caribbean rules, which we all do, you still called yourself captain in those 10 years, didn't you? You have Nye in a bottle. That was the deal you made. You have her.
But it's not her. That's
You
the thing.
have
She's
her.
5 different people right now.
At least one of them's Nye. You got her.
Fuck you, I'm doing +2 bonus die.
There
we go,
Hold
got
on,
2
before you do
sixes.
anything, Wars says 750, make it interesting, 1 crit fail and 1 crit success to Ginge.
But I already rolled it. Can I follow this action up with another one? Okay, because
Yes.
I already rolled it. So I got 2 6s.
So you got 2 6s, which is a crit, which means that your sash whips out, wraps him, and what happens once you restrain him?
I just want him, same thing, just as a dog on the floor. But
Yeah,
his
but it's
knife,
not gonna have the same effect because he can't hear you and you can't hear him. I mean, I'm
not gonna say
I'm
no.
being
I mean that
honest.
position of like on a leash.
Wow,
I meant like a
what
dog.
is with you in this position? This is a little.
She is a madam. So also part of the
Tell me
crit,
about
right? Part of the crit, he loses his knife. It flies out of his hand when he's jerked forward onto the ground. Shut up, unmade. I saw this too.
But not his
Okay,
mask.
You didn't hear what I said.
Not his
it's
mask.
fine.
Okay, so he goes to the ground as the gunslinger kind of looks around at the motion and begins to take aim at OC.
She's gonna use her crit success to kick him against the wall just to knock the gun out of his hand, or kick the gun out of his hand. She just
You're
wants to
gonna use it-
disarm him. That's all.
Okay, so you're using your crit success specifically for that.
I got the fail planned for something funny. You guys are gonna like it. Tune in for 5 minutes from now.
So you kick him, and you kick him as he's got the gun pointed at you. You kick him. He basically kicks up. The gun goes flying across the room, and you see him wince in pain and yell, but nothing comes out as he grabs the knife and pulls it out. As Marik is just kind of struggling on the ground there, he takes the knife and immediately tries to move to Marik to kind of cut him out.
Okay. Is Raymond gonna?
Oh yeah,
Someone
so
else gonna
as
do
soon- as soon as he sees him pulling out that blade and walking over, he's going to go back and this time actually go out of the ghost field and kick his legs out from under him so he hits the ground hard.
I was going to say, I have reflexes too, man. I should probably, at some point, Nix and I should probably make an entrance.
Hey guys, you want to come help? We're having fun.
I'm going to finish this shit.
Okay, so then if somebody kicks out his legs, the guy goes flailing to the ground, and he's struggling to get back up. OC and Bowerstone are in the room. Silence is still fallen. What's happening next, guys?
So
Next
this guy's falling, eating shit. There's a silence potion happening. Yeah, Nyx is just gonna walk in and just casually move Marik out of the way.
Okay.
like towards one of the corners and just hold him there. I mean, I can't talk to him, and that's all Nix does is talk to people. So he can't talk to him, so he just kind of forces him into a corner away from this shooty McStabberson over here, so that they can take care of him. And he creepily just mouths and forces him into a wall. Okay. And you see Marik is getting incredibly angry, but otherwise doesn't have a response because he can't speak to you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Steve.
What happens after that? Because you've got the other guys, basically on the ground. You've got Marik up against the wall. What?
Oh, I'm holding there until they kill this guy.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to have fun.
Nobody can hear you, Raymond.
Steam walks into the room and sees that Nix has Marik in the corner, and Steam walks up to Marik and just gets in front of him and goes,
So Nix has him up against the wall like this. The arm is in Marik's throat. You can't really walk up next to him, but you can kind of go up to the side and do this. And he shakes his head like this. He's like,
I cut off one of his fingers.
He screams in pain, shaking his head.
And then I pull up his own finger and I go, and I flick it over to the side and I go,
Nix looks vaguely impressed.
He's screaming bloody murder. Which hand did you start to cut fingers from?
I don't know, whoever's closest.
I'm going to assume his left. So
Sure.
He's currently lost 2 fingers. He's still shaking his head, screaming.
Has Raymond killed the other guy? Because if not, I'm going to blade him before we have a problem.
Oh, yeah, so if I got donated crit success, so what I'm going to do with my grappling hook is I'm going to wrench it around this guy's neck, throw it over the roof racks, if that's possible, and just strangle him and just be enjoying it, just watching this guy struggle for breath.
Wait a minute. You're which guy?
Hateful Eight.
The gunslinger.
The gunslinger.
Okay. And so there isn't a fan. There's nothing for you to wrench him like that.
Okay, I'll
unless
around the bedpost.
Okay.
Just something hard that I can pull him up against and start strangling him, and watch him twitch.
Just throw him out the window, wrap him up, and throw him out.
Oh yeah.
Don't help him be a monster, Greg.
That's fine.
Is that what you do?
My only quality.
I pick him up by the collar of the throat and just looking at him and my.
Well, no, keep him in here because we got to keep him inside the silence bubble. We're not sure exactly how far it extends.
How many times? There's so many death options. All right, you know what? I'm just bashing this guy's head against a wall repeatedly. 1, 2.
So he wrecks the wall.
What's that?
With the guy's face.
Huh?
You just wait a minute. Okay. Again, just to be clear, you're using your crit to basically murder this guy by smashing his head into the wall.
Don't use your crit for that. You can do that. He's unarmed and dead anyway.
It'd seem a shame not to. I mean, it was donated.
Yeah, sure, but you might run into a situation where you're going to need that.
But I've got a crit
because with the 4 of you in the room, Nix's arm like this. OC just kind of watching this, having her hold on him with the sash, and Steam cutting and you bashing in the head. All of a sudden, right next to Marik's head, you see a little hole appear as there's a poof. And then there's another one on the wall right near Raymond. As you look around and turn, and there are 4 guns pointed in at you from the doorway. And they are firing, and they're revolvers. They're high class, freaking, good pieces of iron, and they're firing at you.
How'd they hear us?
They didn't. They found you because there was silence that fell. and you guys have been fucking around with this guy for long enough for their people to come up and find you. And so there's poofs happening on the wall as little holes appear and debris is coming out of those debris, those holes. As you all look around, you see that there are 4 guns and 2 individuals just kind of positioning themselves to try to, to shoot in the room and cover themselves while attacking you. What do you guys do?
How many are there?
2 out that you can see.
Can we hear each other yet?
Like your lights. No, because it's been a bit. It's still a fair amount of time.
Okay, I'm doing something.
Please, that's why this situation happens.
Ancestor, this is how you do this shit. I'm using.
What a way to call a guy out.
What a dick! What a dick!
Okay, so with Marique, I'm looking directly at Marique, and I turn and with just my hand, I look at Nyx and I basically cover up his eyes, and I look at the others and go like this to cover your eyes. Mm-hmm. And then I look directly at Marique and I go full glorious visage. The utter Scarecrow Batman Begins motion where Steam calls forth that bit of divinity he has, but the raw side, the edge, the Old Testament God shit that comes out, and his eyes kind of bug out of his head, his jaw unhinges as he sees this incredibly grotesque aberration just appear in front of him. And as soon as Marique gets to drink that shit in a little bit, he turns and casts that gaze at the gunman. They can't move.
Okay. So they are frozen in place. And you can see that there's movement behind them, but nobody can get in past them as they were supposed to be taking their initial shots. How does the rest of the party react to this new development?
What a day.
Sorry.
What a lovely day.
OC
You
does
can't
a
say that.
flashback.
You can't speak, Raymond. What?
OC does a flashback.
Okay.
She has rope on her, or a sash long enough to get to the ground,
Okay.
and ties it to the window while they're frozen.
All right. So you're not having a reaction at all to what Steam just did. You're just
Can't
moving
see it.
on.
We can't see it.
Everybody can see it.
No, he told us to cover our eyes. Because if we see it, we also freeze.
Gleaming in doubt.
Okay.
Everyone is
How
affected
did he?
by it.
Okay. So
He literally said it. He said he put his
yeah,
hand over
no.
Mark's
I
eyes,
get
and he
that.
did this to
But
everyone else.
viewing this, I didn't hear you guys react to that. Okay, my mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it was a narrative thing, but yeah, sorry.
It's a narrative thing. However, it's the kind of thing that's important. All right, moving on from that. You're able to secure the rope. We're going to call that 1 stress because it's a flashback.
Can I do one thing as I'm walking to tie the rope?
Sure.
She's gonna look to Nyx and go and point. She still has him by the sash, so she's gonna have one hand on the sash, one hand tying the knot. She wants Nyx to look for the book.
You have one hand on who?
My sash is still around him. No,
Around who?
Marique.
Marique.
I have Marique.
You have him against the wall while he's sashed. He was on the floor, sashed like a dog.
Oh, I thought the gunman was sashed.
No,
Oh.
no.
My bad.
That's
No,
why
the
you pulled him
gunman's
up,
on the
and I was
floor.
like, well, I guess that's
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah,
I thought you had
no.
the gunman down.
no.
Yeah, we don't know where the book is. We tried that already.
Yeah, but you can
No.
look on his desk or
You
around.
haven't,
No one has
you haven't
actually
searched
looked.
the
Oh, I thought you were
room.
pointing to Marique.
No
Sorry.
one. She'll go and
Yeah.
point angrily, and then yank him back down to the floor, since she has her sash, and start to tie the rope around the windowsill or something under it to be able to.
Sure. Yeah, Nyx will begin looking around the room. He'll begin like
Bedpost
tossing.
seems like a good place.
He'll be tossing around the room. He like flips the mattress up. He's tearing down things in the closet. He's pulling out, drawers.
Eventually, you are able to find the book, but it appears to be bound more than just by the binding and the cover itself. It appears to be wrapped in some sort of rope that wraps and encompasses the book, and there's a knot right at the front. as if to secure it in some way, shape, or form. You're not sure what that means, but you're able to basically recover the book from under the bed after tossing the room. Now, Steam, how long does your glorious visage last?
As long as I keep eye contact with them.
Okay, so
Anybody
Marique
else?
is Marique is starting to struggle again as OC is trying to do two things at once. So in order to maintain that, I'm either going to ask one of two things. You either roll for the knot that you tie on the to secure the way down, or you're going to have to roll to maintain the hold on him.
Can I roll to kick him in the face?
That's a third thing you're doing. That's a third.
Well, that's to hold on to him.
So
Right,
So what you're saying is either
I
I don't tie the knot all the way or I lose control of him. So am I rolling for that, or how does
No,
that
I'm
work?
just so what I'm saying is that you're either rolling to keep control of him.
By keeping control, I'm just saying narratively kicking him is
So-
what I meant.
So here, let me fix this for you. In the silence and seeing you look back and forth between your knot and the knot you're tying with the other hand, Nyx walks over and you see him drop his hand down like when he pulls his gun out, and he puts his hand over Marique's mouth, and you can see him shake kind of violently. And I administer a dose of my slumber essence. And
Ew, you
And he
just
passes out.
chloroformed him?
And he passes
Can we
out.
speak now?
No, silence is still dropped.
Steam reaches
Okay.
behind him and points towards the window.
For all of us to leave? Yeah, she's working on it. So as she ties the knot, here's where the fun part comes in. She's gonna unsash him and look at him like this, and show her sword
Who?
that she has.
He's passed
He's
out.
unconscious. I just gave him.
Oh, he's unconscious. I thought it.
Yeah, he
Sorry.
he just fed him a slumber potion. So yeah, he's
Is the other guy
unconscious.
dead? I went to the bathroom.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Raymond
she
smashed
doesn't
his
look at the
face
dead
and-
guy. Good.
Okay.
You're sick, fuck. I thought I was sick. So she's going to motion to the window and look to Nyx because he's like stronger, and do this motion. She's gonna put the. Do you have like a bag on you or like a pocket for the book that she would know of that you can hold it fine while you
Yeah.
carry him as well?
Johnny, what does it look like outside this window?
When you look outside, it's clear that there's some panic because there are some blue coats running in, and there's a bit of concern on the street as there are patrons coming out of it because of the silence. And there's a moment where you see that there's reactions as people are beginning to realize that they can speak again or they can make sound again.
Okay.
But that's outside of the door, and it's just essentially outside of the range that this is all happening. But you still can't hear it because that sound is not coming back to you.
Right.
But it's obvious that they're reacting to it.
Is
Are
this
there-
a side window though, in an alley, or is this the front?
No,
of the
it's on the
building?
street. It's on the street.
How close
Fuck.
is the next building?
So we never set the precedence of what side of the building it is, other than that there's a window that would be easily accessible for you guys to get into. So I'm going to assume this is off an alley. So with the people that you're seeing below are probably coming out a side door, and I would assume that the alley or the next building over is probably either 5 to 10 feet away. Given normal space between buildings. So
Okay.
let's assume somewhere between 5 to 10 feet.
OC
Okay.
is going to get a hat or something she can to cover Marique's face and cover him. And she's going to take her sash off of him and wrap it around her face as kind of a disguise, just to not see her face when she sees people. And she's going to start to rappel down and loses her footing with that crit fail and eats shit from 3 stories. Maybe she's doing one last, through the window and isn't, paying attention to her footing.
All right, I'm going to do one of those weird gem things, and I'm going to ask, are you sure?
I have to use a fail, so...
You do, but this is going to be pretty significant.
Well, hold on, let me just be someone else real quick. It's season 3, let's go all out.
Season 3, fuck it.
That's what he says. Season 3, fuck it.
And to make matters worse,
Maybe
Nyx-
she gets down a flight and then falls 2 stories, because that's still a pretty,
Yeah.
Okay,
is that
so
fair?
I was going to... So 3 stories would require one hell of a resistance roll, because you were going to take level 2 harm. I'm going to ask you again. Are you sure that that's where you want to fail?
Can I do a 2-story fail where I get down and
Even with a 2-story fail, it's still going to be pretty significant, and you're still going to have to roll a resistance.
I would like to roll a resistance.
All right.
I think it'll be funnier if you're like, this ninja bitch could kill anybody, but she can't scale a wall.
Okay.
Turns out she's
Fair
not
enough.
a ninja. She's just good at swords.
Turns out she's wearing real high heels because she's dressed like a prostitute, ladies.
Only good at swords.
Okay.
Hey, and Sasha. So what is that kind of a? What would
I
that
think
look like?
that's going to be a prowess because it's a physical act.
Okay. This is gonna go fine, guys.
Yeah, it's going to go great. You're
You don't
going to
have
be
to
awesome.
use the fail there. Shut up, Al. Bonus die 0, right?
I'll give you. Let me look at your.
My skirmish. Well, prowess is not. Yeah.
Let me look at your character sheet real quick, because I might give you one for using the crit fail, because that's a pretty interesting place to use the fail.
Let the ninja hit the floor. Let the ninja.
No, you've got 3 in prowess. You're doing pretty good. Go ahead and just roll it. You got 3 in prowess. Go ahead and just roll it.
Yeah, 1 for each story that I'm following.
Well, you said it, not me. You're the one who started this.
Ooh, 5.
All right. So you're going to take level 1 harm, bruised and battered.
And 1 stress.
But that's 1 stress.
Guys, if I get 1 more stress, I'm gonna draw.
Well, guess what? You're surrounded by blue coats. I'm sure you'll be fine. So what I was trying to do before someone leapt out of the window was leap out of the window. So as she is slowly descending, Nyx has the book under one arm, and he just lifts Marique over the other arm, and he kind of looks back to Steam, and then like nods towards Bowerstone as I use... And I get through the window and leap that 5 to 10 feet to the next building.
Okay.
With Marique in tow?
Yep, he's over my shoulder, and I have the book, and I jump out of the window.
Superhuman.
Madame Teslin's is a 4-story building with a 2-story building right next to it that Nyx is able to easily jump and just kind of clear that 5 to 10 feet, gap between, and land almost superhero style, kind of on one knee. Marika under one arm, over one arm, and then the book under one arm, and looks back up. What is Steam and Bowerstone doing?
Oh, he's going to be looking down. Now, you see there were blue coats approaching, correct?
There was 1 blue coat left at the door as Nyx saw blue coats running into the building from that back alley.
Fuck.
And you see that OC is beginning to pick herself up off the ground as the blue coat starts to take an interest in somebody who just basically fell right near their feet.
I know what's going through your dumb head. I just want to remind you, they're the wrong ones.
Yeah.
You would know that.
Yeah.
Use a fail. Use a fail.
You would know. You would know they're the wrong ones. Whether you choose to act on that or not, I know exactly what you're going to do.
What the fuck are we doing here?
I wasn't thinking Assassin's Creed at all.
Yeah, no, I know.
But no, seeing that OC failed, it's going to kick something inside Raymond.
Okay.
I'm wanting, with the grappling hook, to attach it, rappel down, and then rappel straight back up.
Are you gonna Spider-Man me? My
I was
Mary
gonna say-
Jane?
Oh, that has to work. That is too
Use your success. Use your crit success. And then a fail when you try to go back up.
No, that has to work. That is the coolest fucking thing ever. That has to work.
Okay. So he does this, but it brings him back up immediately to the same window.
Yeah.
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you, Greg. What did you
Other
say?
building. Other building.
He didn't say that.
I like to make a flashback.
Make a flashback and change my plan.
Flashback, 1 stress.
Thank you.
That is another proper use of a flashback. I
That's
fucked
why you-
up. Let me fix it.
Let me go
To
back.
the other building.
That's why you be very specific with what you say about like barring the door.
Okay, so you're now back on the other side of the building, leaving Steam in his glorious visage, watching people just make their way out. What's he do?
He backs up, still looking at the door in front of him, and as soon as he feels the window behind him, he turns and devil's footsteps to the building with Nyx.
Okay, I have one quick question for Steam as he's doing this.
Mhm.
Wait, 2 questions. First, how much stress do you have left after that?
I am
I'm just curious.
currently, because if I do the devil's footsteps, I am at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, 2. Do you really need devil's footsteps to jump 5 to 10 feet to a building that's 1 story below you?
Yeah, I did it because I'm carrying a dude.
Okay.
You should be able to just jump it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask.
Okay, then I have 5 then. That's what I'm doing.
So you're just jumping. Okay, good. So you jump down, and I just want you to note the reaction of the blue coat as you see Bowerstone making his way down and up, grabbing, and the blue coat goes, "What?" And then he sees this other guy, and he's like, and he starts to yell something, and there is a shot that comes out from out of nowhere and takes him out. And you guys make your way across the rooftop. What are you doing next?
Where'd that shot come from?
You don't know.
Can I make a roll to see if I know?
Do you want to?
I think we all want to.
I think we all want Greg to.
I think. Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay, I still get the devil's footsteps if I need to get out of there. Can I take a second to see?
Well, so you jump across as you kind of see and you hear the shot happen. Just you see the shot. You see the guard, essentially the blue coat fall, but you don't see where the shot came from because you were watching him as he was reacting to Raymond. So if you're going to look for that, that means you're going to tip your head back over and take a look, right?
Sure.
Okay, you see somebody that matches the description of one of the other blue coats that was trying to assassinate Bowerstone previously.
One of the other ones?
Wait, he
Yes.
killed. There were 3 of them.
killed
I
all
thought
3
he
of
killed
them.
all 3 of them.
Matches a description of what those guys looked like in their garb.
Oh, okay.
Okay, got it.
All right. Sorry, I was also
And you-
confused. Like, I definitely murdered 3 people there.
You definitely murdered 3 people. Fuck, you flipped a goat on 2 of them.
I
Jesus.
did. And then I gutted one of
Let's
them.
be clear about this. Louise was pissed.
I lifted a man with a hook by his rib cage from the inside and then carried him to his friend. Yeah, pretty sure they're all dead. I made a man suitcase.
So what you realize happened there is, as that shot kind of goes out, it was fired from a distance. And it was happening when Bowerbomb was down and coming back up. And it took out the blue coat instead. And so when you look back, you see the guy kind of picking himself up and running. And he just disappears down the street.
Okay, time to go.
All right.
Feet
Are you
don't
making
fail
your
me.
escape?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You want to take any particular steps to make your escape, or are you just kind of fading into the night?
Me?
Him or everyone in general?
I'm asking the crew because this could be the end of the score. I don't know if you guys have anything else as a part of the score that you wanted to do.
Oh, can I do it? Oh, no, fuck me. Shit. Can someone else do a flashback? Does anyone have any stress
You can-
that they can take?
Oh.
I can't take any more
I'll,
stress.
I'll take it if you want. I've got
Wait, what do you need?
So
Yeah,
I
what-
have, when I was in the Dimmer Sisters estate, when I had ripped off a piece of that lady Rosalind's clothing that had an emblem on it of hers, that we could leave at the crime scene.
You want to leave something of the Dimmer sisters at the crime scene?
Yeah.
Of this particular...
Because she always carries it with her, so it wouldn't be a flashback for that. It'd be a flashback for leaving it.
Is it possible to
you're gonna get one of those weird sort of interesting circumstances where I'm gonna ask this twice in one session to one player? Are you sure?
I mean, it could put some blame off of us, right?
How fucked can we get?
It was just an option for the table. What do you guys think?
I
don't know what I'm
mean,
doing
Bowerstone
anymore.
took trauma episode 1.
Trauma doesn't go away, right?
No, it doesn't go away.
Fuck it, I'm taking it.
No, wait a minute. That's
No,
not...
fuck that bitch!
No, that's not what I'm asking. If you want to take trauma, that's entirely up to you.
You go down if you do that.
You will go down.
I mean,
You
I'm
will be
unconscious and he's manhandling me anyway, so let's be
Well,
honest.
yeah, you never know what Bowerstone's going to do when you're unconscious, but that's not the point. The point of the question is, are you sure you want to leave evidence?
Do you guys think that would be helpful? Because I am connected to the Dimmer sisters, but not enough that would be worth it. But I think leaving something like that would put them on a different path.
I don't think it would be helpful. But if OC thinks it would be helpful, that's a different story.
It would create an interesting as hell
Yeah,
room.
like we not only don't even know you have it, we don't even know, like, we have no idea.
Yeah, but would it be... I'm trying to metagame here first. Do you think it would be helpful? Ew.
If you're going to
His
metagame,
parents are watching you, gross fuck.
if you're going to metagame, I'm going to tell you exactly where my head went when you said that. I'm gonna be very, very honest about this.
Old creepy lady?
No.
Oh.
First off, it's been over 2 weeks since the Demmer sisters' estate burned down.
That doesn't mean they were all in it.
Nobody ever leaves the Demmer sisters' estate. Not even Rosalind. They have representatives. That's why you worked with them. That has been set as precedence in the game. So it would be incredibly unusual.
This is also an incredibly unusual circumstance, though.
2, I'm just telling you where my head went and where potential storyline is going to go with this, right? If this pops up. Number 2, you have this in your possession how long?
Since it happened?
Since 2 weeks ago, right? Or the 2 weeks in game time, right? Okay. So that at least has a little bit of residual energy of yours on there, and that's going to be fresh. If somebody was to take a Whisperer or somebody else who had some experience...
And track me, yeah. I guess you would know that, too.
You would know that. In fact, Steam would probably make sure, because that's one of the ways that he was tracking Nyx.
But no one knows you have it, and you're a crazy pants.
And you are a crazy pants, but I'm just saying, because you're trying to meta it a little bit, I'm going to tell you exactly where my head went and where I would be more than happy to have a consequence pop up around this.
Okay, if we're going to meta this a little bit, Steam gets to the edge of the silence bubble and he turns around and he goes, "Curse you, blue coats. I'll get you, or my name isn't Mr. Wolf." And he runs.
I prefer that. Nope, that's what we're doing.
We don't know Mr. Wolf. Only
No,
I
we
do.
all know Mr. We know, you know, and I know, based on being fucked over, not as Wolf. What's his name?
You don't know his name. I only called him the Professor.
No, I know him as Wolf because that's what he told to Douchey McDoucheface.
No, he didn't.
I do.
I asked him, was it the Professor?
Hold on.
He said yes.
Wait a
I
minute.
don't think you said the Professor.
I did.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, this is going to hurt my brain, but if I don't ask this. If Brooklyn Marshall or Mr. Wolf is the Professor, does that make Eclipse Marianne?
Get fucked. Okay, that's the end of the stream.
He is Ginger? And I
That's the end of the
just,
stream.
Fucking damn it.
Yeah,
I think that makes me Ginger. God damn it.
We're done.
That's right, the ancestors Gilligan. It's perfect.
This has been 6 and 20. We're over. This is it. Season 3 is done, guys.
OC's not going to leave that. Yeah,
not gonna
she wouldn't. Knowing that information, she wouldn't leave it. I didn't think about that.
all right, okay. So OC is not going to leave it based on all of that meta. Is Steam saying what he said?
No, he doesn't know them. I'd love
Okay, all right.
Well, you know that he's the professor because I told all of you that, and that's why I'm pissed at him.
Steam would never yell that anyway. I just think it would be great. My name's Mr. Wolf.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the question again. Is that where we're ending the score?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's only one way in and out of Silkshore, which is fucking inconvenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
And
do a
the fact that-
flashback, guys, and have a carriage waiting for us.
Or a gondola. You could go up by boat. You could go up by carriage. You could do a bunch of things. But there, as Nix points out, there's technically only one way out of by road, at least.
You know what?
We could go by boat.
Oh,
We
fuck
could,
me.
we could go by underground.
No, wait, no. In fact, it's an island. You can't get underground. Yeah, I'm gonna flashback. We
All
have
right,
we own a boat.
I was just about to say I'll
on a boat.
flashback to do it. Okay.
Stop the time, Steve.
Just want to take trauma, guys.
we own a level 2 boat.
Okay, so,
So I'm gonna have the boat waiting for us.
That's going to be one stress,
Okay.
but I don't think that's really going to make a difference. And I think that's where we call the end of it, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I would assume we go back to Crowsfoot. That's
And goes back to the Gallows Respite.
yes.
Okay, so
Wait, really?
I'm going to ask this next
Okay.
question.
Actually, before we end at that, I want to ask the table that. Do we want to bring it to Gallows Respite? My vote would be no. We have. Well, even that, I would say we
I was gonna say
made
the
sure
church.
we made sure in season 2 that the church has an underground passage that's right next to the water. So
Yep,
we can
I
just-
want to go to. We have
Sure.
that actual whatever you call it boat
Oh, can I enter it?
dock.
You can't go into the basement of the church, but you can go to the regular church.
Okay, let's go to regular church, not special church.
Yeah,
We can go to the underground part, and walk around outside. To be
he
fair.
can.
No, he could go to like the landing for the boat
Yeah.
and then walk around outside.
Yes. Yep. So we go back to Eden, Johnny.
Good, because I was about to ask you a very pointed question about this. You haven't been back to Eden in like forever.
That's not true.
That's not
That
true.
is totally true.
I
guys
have
have-
been going back to Eden all the time. That's where the books are. That's why I've been doing all the research on the books.
Yes,
I was
but it's
in that
been 2 weeks.
in that 2 week break. I was there.
Okay,
I finished
all
my
right.
research on the books.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm
All
the
right.
only one that's been going back, but yes.
Well, that's right.
He's
Yeah,
like
the church.
strike out assassination attempt once you get back to the lair.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say is this a case where you guys want to start talking about switching your HQ from Eden to the Gallows Respite? Because you guys have been spending a fair amount of time at the Gallows Respite.
Nope.
Nah.
I just want to be clear about that. Okay.
No one
Gallows
really
Respite is
knows
a public
about-
place.
Yeah.
Yep, I get it. All right. So, we'll call that end of score. Let's talk about payoff. This is a fairly big score for you guys. I mean, a bunch of things have happened, and you assaulted essentially quite a large place.
Mhm.
That you were kind of uncertain about. So, from a rep perspective, it's 2 rep to start off with. Technically, Madame Tesland doesn't have a tier, but Silkshore does, and I believe it's a tier 3. So that's actually going to. I'm looking at my chart right now. Give me just a second so I can confirm that. So the citizens of Silkshore are currently at. They're actually at tier 2, so that negates your route.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
We don't know this, but is the Circle of Flame tier 3 or higher? Or tier 4 or higher, I guess? Because she works for them.
Well, she does, but you weren't assaulting her in the capacity of taking on the tier or the Circle of Flame.
Right, but she is one of the 7, so she could
Yes,
see it
she
that
is.
way. This could be a slight against them.
Okay.
I don't know her. I wasn't the one afraid of her,
If
so I'm
you
not
want-
sure.
I mean, okay, so if you want to call it like that, then I'm happy to do that, but it's going to be 1 rep for you then.
Okay.
All right. Now, from a payoff perspective in respect to coin, How big of a job do you think this was?
As far as coin
whatever
goes?
the medium one is, if that.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a couple of factors here in play here, right? You got Marique, essentially the creator of Lure,
Mm-hmm.
and you also got the book. So from a job perspective, it almost seems like from a coin perspective, there isn't a way to really balance it in that respect. So what do you guys think is fair? 6 or 4? Because what Nick's is asking, or what Mike is asking for, is 6, because that's the median.
Oh, then then 4. I don't know the numbers.
4.
Okay.
I just say
Yeah.
it's Johnny.
In game and out of game.
Yeah. I don't know how these rules work.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about that. Okay, all right. So let's talk about heat then.
Unfortunately, Bowerstone killed someone.
That's not the question at hand right now. Although there are multiple examples. So, is this low exposure, or is this wild and devastating exposure?
I think this is low.
I mean,
because
compared
no one
to-
saw our faces.
Yeah, compared to the other wild and devastating things we've done, this is pretty low.
Someone may have seen your face, OC, when you hit the pavement.
No, she wrapped her face. She made sure to say that.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, I wrapped it with a sash.
She did put on a disguise. The
good.
guard cannot. The guard that she used the transpatter on cannot call for her. This, however, you did use silence potion. There was some action going on. The murder will come in separately because it actually doesn't. It's a side effect of it and not the intent. So to me, this sounds like it's contained, bordering on loud and chaotic. Except
I
that
mean, it
there's no.
definitely wasn't loud.
But it was a bit chaotic because you caused a bit of chaos with the silence.
I don't know. I
You
personally wouldn't agree.
Well, you triggered the blue coats coming, right?
Yeah.
There was a reaction around the.
But we didn't have any confrontation, or they didn't see us. They didn't nothing for the blue
That
coats.
doesn't necessarily. So it doesn't have to be direct exposure. There still is some exposure, though, right?
I would argue for contained, because no one can identify that it was us that did it. I mean, it was contained to one room, and if you want to push it in one building, when the blue coats kind of got there, and no one saw who it was. Yeah.
The only
no
two
one
people who
us.
saw us or interacted with us are tranced, dead, and with us.
No, there's the 2 guys that were shooting at us from the doorway. But I don't think we had our faces were exposed at that point.
No, we were all pretty much out by then.
No, your faces were exposed.
My
when
back
you
was
looked
to them.
No, your back was not to them. You all were seen in the room together, right? So
True.
Nix was seen, OC was seen. I'm not sure how much of Steam was seen before he went full, crazy. And Bowerstone, of course, is wearing his Bowerstone, mask, or his Bowerbomb mask. So
Yeah. I would say contained because it didn't spill any further than where it was.
well, again,
Even the chaos
There's-
was self-contained.
well, there's a fair bit of precedence that we've established already that just because it's not a direct they saw you,
Mhm.
it was still a pretty significant event. Somebody attacked Madame Teslin's. People are going to be out looking to figure out what happened at Madame Teslin's because somebody dropped a silence potion. So
Okay.
that's the argument that I'm making. I'm okay with being contained. It's just I want to explain why I thought it might be chaotic.
No, chaotic makes sense.
Okay. Then it's going to be 4 heat to start with. An additional 2 heat for killing
Yep.
because of Bowerstone.
Thanks,
It's
buddy.
worth it. It's worth it.
Did not happen on hostile territory, was not at war. However, and this is a question for the table, while Marique technically isn't a high-value target, you did attack Madame Teslin's. Does that factor in as a high-value target, even though she wasn't the ultimate intent?
She was hiding a drug dealer in my mind, and
Who was probably
no one
paying
else-
her for that? Yeah.
yeah, like if we went to the blue coat, we're not going to, guys. Calm down. If we went to the blue coats, we're like, okay, she was hiding a drug dealer. People would be like, that is weird, interesting. Like there were bodyguards, mercenaries hired to hide someone who deals drugs for the Red Sashes. Like sketchy. Like she's not going to go to the authorities and be like, they took my they took this guy I was hiding from you. Like no. So I don't know that I would argue that that's. I don't know.
Okay. So Danny actually makes a really good point. They did see Steam's other face, and they also they knew who you took. So there is a bit of that. There is a bit of that to the exposure. So you're absolutely right. She was essentially harboring a drug dealer that was being paid. So it's really not her. So it isn't considered a high value target. So ultimately, you end up with 6 heat. What is your wanted level and heat at this point?
1 and 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 and 6.
1 and 6. Okay. So I'm going to roll off screen, and we're going to move directly into downtime.
All right. And of course, we have one ability, Slippery.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. Since we're close to the end of time, do you guys want to do downtime right now, or do you want to end it here?
I would prefer to do it now if we could, because
Yeah.
we usually forget.
Yeah.
Like doing my XP was kind of rough this week because I forgot.
Wait. You're talking about doing XP, or are you talking about doing downtime?
Both.
Can we at least absolutely do XP? Because I think it's when it's fresh.
Just do it right after the stream.
Yeah, we're going to do it right after.
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer not to do it on stream. We can do downtime right now if everyone has. Like, I know I have a few ready to go.
Okay.
So Johnny, you rolled entanglements.
I did.
All right, cool.
I
Does
did.
anyone already have their downtime ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Bowerstone, go nuts.
Okay, so the first thing I want to do is with my asset, the Spy from the Wraiths, I want to gather information on Bowmore.
Did you actually ever tell anybody that it was the Wraiths before you just said the word the Wraiths?
Yeah, I did last.
He said the race last session, but we don't know this. We don't know any of this.
I don't remember you saying the Wraith. That's okay.
I
All right.
remember it.
He for sure did.
Yeah.
Because I immediately
Name's
looked up in the
been
book
dropped.
and I was like, why does he want the Wraiths?
Yeah, name's been dropped. That's it. It's,
Okay, I just want to make sure that the name was drops. All right,
You
go
don't
ahead.
need to know my business. Yeah, so
You need to
anyway.
know your business. I'm
Oh,
calling
yeah, you don't. They don't.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Don't. So, yeah, with that asset, I want him to go and give me the whereabouts of Bowmore, specifically his location that he spends most of the time at. Is home.
You wouldn't need to use an asset to do that.
Oh, really? Is he just at home?
What do you know? What Nix? Can you remind him what Balmore is and what he does? Because
I remember
he's-
he's a fighter. I remember he's a fighter. He goes down to the pits a lot to.
He is the captain, the commander of the Bluecoats of Brightstone. That's his vice is the fighting pits. There's one inside the Vale. There are likely more than one of those. And last you knew, he boarded his Leviathan hunting ship and fucked off, and hasn't come back yet. All 20 noble families boarded their ships, left, and 5 have come back. And he was not at the Council of 6 meeting that you went to.
Okay, I want to find out who's next in charge.
Who's next in charge for the Balmore family?
Well, yeah, Balmore and also the. So this will be both. So I want to find out who's in charge of the Bluecoats and the Balmore family.
Okay, those are 2 separate actions. So basically, what you want to do is figure out who took over the Bluecoats in Brightstone, and you want to find out then. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So one is going to be a long-term project. The other is going to be.
Fuck's sake. Get out.
Both are going to be a long-term project.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So the first one, what do you want to do first?
So we'll do the Bowmore one first. Specifically, who runs the family,
Okay.
since he's away. Now, Mike, I believe you roll for this since it's a tiered level
Are
asset.
you using your asset?
Yeah,
What level is your asset?
7.
Fuck you.
Yeah. It's
No, you can just roll 7 dice. Just roll an engage. Just roll fortune and 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I roll things that are tier.
Okay. It only goes up to 6.
So
I roll.
So roll, then roll 1.
Yeah. Roll it, and then you should be able to do additional die.
Oh, I'd like to at least get a 6.
well, let's find out.
Thank you.
Oh.
There you go.
This fucking guy.
Okay. Okay. So that completes 3 out of the 4 on the clock. It's no, I didn't want it to go GM level. God damn it. Undo. All right. I can sometimes roll 20, I swear to God. So that's 3 segments out of 4 on that particular on that particular progress clock, you know that it is actually being run by the solicitor or essentially the family lawyer at this point, but you don't have enough information you don't gather enough information to find out the person's name yet. But essentially, from your contacts with the Wraiths and the noble families in general, you get a sense that there is one or two lawyer businesses, firms essentially that are running it. However, there is a reference that you find associated with this as you're digging in that indicates that this lawyer also might be working for the Northhook Company.
Right. Okay.
Do you keep that to yourself?
Of course he does.
I don't know if I want to tell the group yet that I'm planning on doing things.
But we all do want to kill Bowmore, to be fair. Maybe not the whole story, but we all want to kill Bowmore.
Why does everybody want to kill Balmore?
Because we all know that he is... you told us, right, Nix?
Nope.
You're a piece of shit. What the fuck is wrong with you people? God damn it. You know what, Steve? We're on our own. Fuck these guys.
Wait a minute. Let's be clear. This reaction is coming from the same person who went, shh, I'm not going to tell Steam that I know where Sling is until after I don't need him.
I told him an hour later. I'm sorry.
I'm going to tell him later. No.
You told him when it was most convenient to you.
Don't worry, I'll tell you
within an hour.
I'll tell you an hour later after game.
After I kill him.
All right, so that is Raymond's first action on that one. What about the second?
So second will be doing the same, but this time the information on who's running the blue codes. So I have questions.
Okay, so this is going to be really easy for you to figure out. So instead of it being just a straight up roll, determining the progress clock, what this is going to do is determine how much information you actually get about this particular person.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and roll. And how are you acquiring this information for this project? And usually, I don't usually do this. However, this is going to be pretty obvious pretty quickly.
Well, actually, I wanted to get it from my asset as well.
So assets are one-time use only.
Okay, then I'm going to go and do it.
And how are you going to go about doing that?
I'm going to go about it by being the bomb. And going and... while one of the bluecoats is alone on patrol, and basically he's wanting to isolate someone from the bluecoats and interrogate them.
Okay.
So
and that's going to be a coercion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and roll that?
Why is it not popped up on my... Hang on, my character sheet's screwing up for a second.
Yeah, Roll20's having issues, it looks like.
Yeah. Which one was it again?
Coercion? Whatever.
Consort, you mean?
Sorry,
consort?
command or consort. Or you could use something else that implies...
Well, I could use sway, but for this information, I don't think it is. So what I'm going to do is...
Could make it a fortune roll.
Yeah, I could use a fortune roll. But instead, I'm going to take 2 stress because I've got Rook's Gambit.
Okay.
Take 2 stress, use my highest pipped thing, which is sway, which is 4. I'm going to put that to consort. I'm going to roll that. Just risky and...
No position, no effect.
Okay, easy done. How about a 3? Sheesh.
Yikes.
That's not cool.
Okay, so you don't get much other than the name. It happens to be a name of one of Lady Rowan's sons.
Okay.
Is now in charge of the Bluecoats in Brightstone.
Cool.
It is a member of the Rowan family.
Cool. And that will conclude me.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to... first of all, I'm going to ask a question to Johnny before I do something, because I want to know and set a precedence forever. We have a gambling den and an extortion racket. During downtime, you roll tier minus heat equals the number of coin you gain. Do you want to roll that at the beginning of downtime or the end of downtime?
Your choice. What do you want to do?
I mean, meta-wise, I'd prefer end of downtime. That way we can reduce heat, but...
I think
why
it
I'm
should
asking.
be before, so it'd be incentive to not get as much heat.
That's why I'm asking.
It's tough to not have a significant amount of heat after a score, though.
Yeah, because we literally just did a score and immediately got 6, which means we get no money.
So I guess it's incentive to use your downtime to...
reduce heat and then do it at the end, yeah.
Yep, that's why I'm suggesting it.
Cool. So I'm going to reduce heat by... Man, using the Rook network to spread rumors about other small crews that may or may not exist at all. Upstart crews inside of... It's a Silkshore, inside of Silkshore and operating near the docks that may have been responsible, may have been the actual culprits behind the attack in Silkshore.
You mean that you want to deflect heat?
No, I'm just spreading rumors that other crews did it. There'll be lies about, like, oh, this small crew did it. This small crew did it. I heard this guy did it. I heard that the guy looked like a monster. Things like that. No actual people. No actual, like, I'm not like, the Shroud did it. The fucking Void did it. No actual intentional, just vague misdirections to get people confused and, like, as there's 30 rumors, no one knows which one is true kind of deal.
Okay, just to be clear, because it sounds like what you want to do is you want to deflect heat, but without naming them. I just want to be clear that this will have no actual impact on the Void.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I'm not naming the Void at all. No, I don't give a shit about the Void. Yeah, this is no.
I heard it was Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, no.
That comes later.
No. Yeah, he's just naming a bunch of random, like, low-level crews that would be ballsy enough to do this, and the crews might not even exist. Yeah, no, this is not an actual deflection of heat. This is just to shirk the responsibility from the Shroud.
Okay.
How the fuck do I roll? Oh yeah, I rolled Consort, right?
Mm-hmm.
I assume. So I have a +1 dice for reducing heat.
You're using your Rook network, though, right?
That's true.
Roll their quality or their tier.
That's true. So roll +1 dice from Slippery. Ka-chow! Sixes, triple sixes, sixes all across the board. Sexy 6 time.
Wow. Okay, so a crit is 5, so you just removed 5 heat from the group.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. So let's get down to 1 heat. Then I am going to on the way back. OC, are you unconscious?
No, I just bruised.
Okay.
Level 1 harm.
Or why would you want her?
Because I can't ask an unconscious person a
So
question.
where are we? And are we in a dark alley? Is she unconscious? What's going on here?
We're going back to the torture room. No, as we're transitioning back to places, Nyx will ask you in the Nyx tone of voice to retrieve your book, please. And he takes Marique back to a fun little room where we have another guest staying with us inside of Eden. And he buckles his unconscious body into the Judas cross adjacent to him. And he rouses him the best way that Nyx knows how to do. And I'm going to relieve some stress in the torso and mid-region of Marique, because he pained me and caused me inconvenience.
I would like to get in on that action.
You can.
Okay, thank you. So I am going to be your power for stress relief that it can make you raise and lower it by 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
That is shared by anybody that does it at the same time with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just read that last week and I thought that was fucking dope. So, and to aid in this, what Steam will do is he is going to allow Marique to intermittently get a whiff of his lore as he gets close to him during the torture.
Yes, so I am using Functioning Vice. Any ally who joins me may do the same. So I'm going to roll to indulge my vice.
So I just have a real quick question.
Yeah, Steam is naked.
Do you want to make this a threesome? I mean, literally, it seems like your kind of style. I mean, I just want to make sure.
I was gonna ask to join, but I didn't want to impede on boys' time.
I just clarifying because I know that. I mean, this is really up your alley. So if you want to know this,
if you want to bring the book, I'll wait.
It says an ally, meaning one though.
It does say an ally.
So that's why I was like, this is boys' time. I'll let them have boys' time.
technically, I'm willing to allow it.
Sure.
Then yes, I would also like to indulge my vice.
Cool. So I am going to indulge my vice.
No
This
shirts,
is weird. I'm changing teams.
6, and I'm going to adjust. Wait, no, hold on. Let me double check here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stress. I am going to adjust the die roll up 1 and reduce all 7 stress.
So if you look at the roll, right above it says who currently has 7 stress.
It does say that.
So I thought you'd like to know. I mean, it's convenient.
Yeah, that is convenient. I did not know that.
Should we both do ours?
Yeah, you guys can roll your indulge vices, and then you can up it 1 or 2 in any direction.
I'm going to up it 1.
By 2. You have 8.
4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, duh. Yeah, he literally just said that. Yeah, I'm going to up it by 2.
Yep.
So I have 1 stress.
Also
I feel
up it by
great.
2. You are welcome. And then for his final downtime action, possibly final. Yeah, definitely his final. I am going to study the Codex Machina. Unless OC actually showed up with her book.
The timing will be weird, but we can do all that, and then I'll go get the book because I'm actually going to finish my project wheel by studying it.
Okay. Then I study the Codex Machina.
So this is going to be one of those weird questions where I'm going to ask the table. Will you indulge me a little bit of fun?
Sure.
I'm going to use my crit fail, and you get nothing from the book.
You're a dick.
Which one of us?
So your definition
Hold
of
on. Which one?
Both of you, because I have 2 crit fails by wars.
Okay, I'm going to use my third downtime action, spend a coin to do it again. Suck it,
I was
John.
gonna say. How do you have coin?
well,
Talking about,
thanks,
how do I have
Al.
coin?
I mean,
So
unless you're spending stash.
I have
the
1
reason I'm
coin.
doing this is that there's actually a narrative reason for what I wanted to do here. So let me explain that very quickly. When Nyx opens the book, it's not the same. The writing in it is different, right? So when you look at the text of it, there is the plain text written about holes, and it's very interesting how it's kind of represented in the on the pages. However, when you attune, there's actually nothing there. You don't see anything. But what you do notice, I mean, no matter how hard you attune, you see nothing. What you do see, on the other hand, though, is as you're flipping through the book, you of course see the red page in the back. That's always there. And that is the only thing that you see in the ghost field, right? And it is one part of the 4 pieces that you know that exist. But when you're looking at the lining of the book, and you're looking at the interior of the cover, there are slightly raised ridges, 2 of them in fact. And you trace them into the binding of the book, at back, essentially the pages in the spine. And those 2 wires actually go from the front cover into the binding of the book, and they come out the back. And on the back part of the cover, there are, for lack of a better description, there are these 2 little holes that terminate at the end of the book. So it's almost as if, going a little meta, you need to plug something in.
Interesting.
And so that's your crit fail for that.
Cool. I use my crit success. Fuck you. No, I don't.
No. Use your crit success for research, and you will definitely find out what's going on here.
I'll do it next time.
Okay.
That's it for me. So now
OC
OC and Steam each have one. Or OC is going to spend money to do hers.
Right. So OC is going to initially fail on studying the Codex Umbra, right? That was you.
Yep.
Okay. Where did we last leave off? Because you're going to use your success.
So that's the thing. There's not shit in the Codex Umbra.
I didn't get any information. The way that we started was this is before we started doing the whole reveal it as we go thing. I got the pips and never got any information. It was, okay, cool, you have 2 more pips. Because we weren't doing it that way back then.
So,
okay.
The Codex Umbra has, if you step into the ghost field, there is blue text written in spectral form, and that details the illicit dealings of the Bowerstone family. There is no purple text, and the red text in the back of the book is written in Demon's blood in the Demon script. There is. So
that was what Chimes found.
Yes.
And it wasn't illicit dealings. It was you weren't sure about what those dealings were. So here's what's going to happen when she does the crit success. You begin to study it in detail, right? And at first you're stumbling and you're stumbling and you're stumbling, and all that you see is that text. What you eventually notice is that there is a series of pages towards the beginning of the book that explain actually what these items are. They are all pre-cataclysmic items being stored in the Lost District. And there is a location that is specified in the Lost District. And these items were used, at least according to what the text says, as a part of the ritual that caused the cataclysm.
Okay.
And so that is the ultimate finish of that. And it was Bowerstone's family that was responsible for that list.
For tracking the items down.
For having that. For having that documentation. They were responsible for when the items came in and collected, and it makes it very clear inside of the text. When those items came in, they categorized them, put them in the Lost District, and left them there.
When OC goes to talk to Nyx, brings the book, does he tell her what he found about it missing a piece or needing something? I'm not metagaming. It's she'll wait for him to say something. She'll say, "Did you find anything about items in the other book?"
I'm laughing only because
it's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yes, it's Nick.
About items in the other book? That's what you were asking him?
He said, based on the information you got, that there was an item missing from the book that links them, or whatever it was, about an item in general.
Uh-huh.
And you found that out. Would you answer her truthfully, or would you lie to her that you found something in the book about needing an item for the book?
I don't. Yeah, he doesn't know. I wouldn't lie to you. If you asked if I needed an item, like what's the question you're asking? How about that?
She's asking if any of the books, the other 2 books, reference anything about needing an item or having pretty much what you found out. She's asking that because she has the information of where those items are in the book that she has.
Oh, if you're asking if any of the books reference needing an item to acquire...
Whatever he said they acquire. Whatever they do. That do something.
Oh, no.
Or unlock something.
He would tell you no.
And that's a lie, right?
Nope.
Because you did find out based on Johnny.
None of the books require an item. So talking about requiring an item, this book has a plug and it's blank. It doesn't talk about requiring an item at all.
But that looks like you would need an item to fill it.
It's 2 holes. It looks like a hole punch.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything. He doesn't know.
So that's... Okay, so it's not a lie because you're dumb.
Yeah, it's not a lie because he's dumb.
Okay.
It's not a lie because he doesn't know what he's looking at.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like it's 2 holes and something fits in the 2 holes, but I don't know what
If she thinks you're not lying, she'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like there's 2 holes in the book. Like to me, it looks like a plug in a wall. That doesn't exist.
Yeah, would the book anywhere that she looked at describe that item?
The book's blank. The whole book's blank.
No. When I attuned to it and I saw that it was a ledger.
Blank. Oh,
No,
you're talking about the Umbra.
oh my god.
No, the Umbra would not have any reference to that book.
I don't think it's 2 separate sets of items.
Okay.
These items were used for the apocalypse.
That's what she's
This was
trying.
a
She
plug
doesn't
for
know
the
any
book.
better, so that's what she's trying to discern.
Nix also doesn't know any better. I think they're 2 separate things that you're thinking of. This turns the book on like a Kindle. The other one is a pile of items that cause the apocalypse.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But he'll hand you the other one and look at it and it's blank. But do you bring him the other book? Sorry, Steam.
She's gonna read the other books. She's gonna say tit for tat and like read the other 2 books and attune to them while, because you already told her what's in there. I'm not trying to learn any new information.
So why you guys are arguing this? Just realize that it's Steam that ultimately wants to get to these books because this is what he's waiting for.
Steam. The best part is Bowerstone can't come in the house. He's like a fucking vampire. He can't get in. So if you bring that shit back and then
She's gonna ask if she can see the other 2 books.
Yeah, so if you are fighting this dude, Nix will call you all in. We're all punching this guy, and you're watching, and Steam's blowing smoke up his ass. Once we're done, Nix calls you into the room with the other 2 books, where he now has the 3rd book. And as soon as you hand him yours, he tears the back page out of yours, and then flips the other ones and tears the back page out of those and the other ones, and then lines them all up, and looks to Steam and says, "I believe this was what you wanted." And then, Johnny,
Let's do his other downtime, though. Let's do it. Let him do his other downtime before we get into that.
Because it's probably attuned to this page now. Steam, what do you got?
I think I will tune to these pages.
Well, we're all going to.
Well, you're gonna do that at the end, right?
Yeah. That's a freebie.
Right. It's not a freebie. It's basically free play and it's information research. But what are you doing with your downtime action, Steam?
I have 2. I'm going to train in prowess.
You have 1.
I have 1, but I'm going to spend a coin on 1, I should say.
Oh, okay.
So I train in prowess.
All right, that's a waste, but whatever. I'm fucking with you. I'm sorry.
You got a little thing there.
Right. And then I am going to work on my flock.
And your Steam brood?
My Steam.
Cultivating the brood. What are you doing with the brood this time?
Steam does not blow ass. And if he did,
You would never forget.
And he'd be great at it.
I hope Dane heard that in chat.
A godlike ass blowing.
Okay, so he is going to get the kids circled around in the crow's nest. And to make this short and sweet, he has a candle set on like a small 1 or 2 foot pedestal, and he has them all concentrate on the flame in front as he walks around, and just kind of very similar to what he did with Bowerstone.
Clear your mind, focus on the flame, focus on the flame.
And as he goes around, it's kind of like the initial attunement process, the initial ability to see the field. It's like the first training exercise that Steam had when he was a young boy. And as he goes around, he just keeps whispering to each of the 15, focus, watch it move, watch it go. And, this happens for 15, 20 minutes. And then Steam steps into the middle of the circle and he pinches the flame shut. And he goes back around the circle and he says, can you see it? Keep watching, keep seeing it move. And perhaps a few of them, because of the echo, see the flame in the blue light of the ghost field start to flicker once or twice, and one of them might be like, oh, I see it. And he comes over, good. Keep watching, keep breathing, keep seeing it, feel, and that's what he does.
And that's going to be in a tune?
Yep. So
Okay.
No bonus dice, none of that stuff, right?
Well, so I think you should indulge me a little second here as I use the 3rd crit fail that was donated to me. Because I'm very curious to see something. I want to see Steam's reaction when nothing happens, when they fail. How would he handle that?
That would have been a good roll. Well, that's all right.
For the record, technically,
that would have been a good roll. Holy shit!
Technically, that would have been a good roll.
All right, because you already rolled before I said indulgence. Go ahead and take it.
No. I was clearing it after you said that.
You rolled. It's there, man. So I'm totally giving that to you because you rolled. But God. All right, I'll fix that in a minute. But yes, so
No, you don't have to at all.
No, I'm totally fixing it. I'm fixing it. Relax, man. It's all good. Anyways, just
We don't have to fight about it, Jonathan.
My name isn't Jonathan. Just so you know. All right, so that's the end of downtime. Is that correct for everybody?
Yes.
And everybody's going to assemble the books and be pretty about that, except for Bowerstone, who's locked in.
I'm just going to be waiting outside. Just hey!
He
Can't come in because he's a ghost.
I like having fun.
The Spirit Bane charm hurts him, and the Spirit Mask hurts him. We have Spirit Locks.
Oh, that's right.
Why don't you just take all the spirit locks off? It'll be fine.
So can
I
ask a question before we get to this final moment? Is that a really smart idea to leave Bowerstone alone?
Oh, he's going back home.
We have no smart ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, she still considers Slade the protector of Bowerstone. Or, I'm sorry, Steam. Protector. I meant Steam. I was looking at your name in the chat. My bad.
I don't really consider Slade anything.
Protector of the Bowerstone. I was like,
Steam.
obviously.
Steam. He's the one who wanted him out in public. He's your responsibility now.
Okay. So, you assemble the 4 pages together. Who's looking at it first?
Me.
I mean, I think we're all in the same room as they assemble.
Right, but so this is going to be a group action, correct?
Yes. I think the agreement was you get to look at it. It was you don't get to look at it first and not us. I think it was we all look at it at the same time because we all...
Actually, the agreement was I will let you look at it, Steam, as long as you tell me what you see.
Okay, so just to be clear, because I'm going to have you guys attuned to this, right? Because I think that's fair, given the assembly of this and everything else, right? There's a certain a certain bit of risk about what's going on, but you all are going to attune to it, and we're going to call that a group action, right? Because that way the success of that of the highest success basically determines what you guys find or see. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, who wants to lead the group action?
That would probably be Steam.
Who's got the highest attune?
Yeah, mine's 2.
I have 3.
Okay, great. Steve's got what, 4?
So I'm not gonna try to usurp Steam there, unless Johnny, you want to give me bonus die for completely reading 2 out of the 4 books.
Okay, sure, you get one of those.
So we both have 4.
I've read 3 as well. Yeah.
Oh, but okay, hold on a second. Nyx has spent time using those books in projects, doing that research. OC hasn't done that. She's been using her downtime actions for other things. So in that particular case, that makes sense for Nyx to get the bonus die.
Okay. I thought I just attuned to all of them while we were... That was the agreement was, okay, I want to look at them while you're...
I've done 3... I've done 2 full long-term projects on 2 of the books.
Right. He spent a significant amount of time studying the details of those, right? He went through he saw, the secret text or the demon text of both, the books that he was studying, and he got the zoology, the zoology of the Deathlines essentially, and the hierarchy of demons. And the journaled story of the demon, right? So there's a whole bunch of information there. You would not be able to consume all of that in that short period of time. So it makes sense that he gets the 2d6 or the 1d6 for that. All right, so that's Steam's 4, and that's Nyx's 3 plus 1, and then that's OC's 2, and Steam is leading the action. Is that correct? Okay, so each of you are going to roll, except Steam is going to crit fail, and Nyx is going to crit fail.
And I'm going to use my crit success on that one, for sure.
I'm going to use my crit success as well.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, guys. All right. So
I don't think we're allowed to do that. Though.
right,
We can't.
You can't negate the fail. We need to remove the ability for the crit fails to be given to the GM.
Why don't we do a fortune roll with that many die?
No.
Wait, how many die? 12?
If we're given a fail, that's a narrative device for Johnny. So he
Right. That's my point. It's a narrative thing for me. However, if OC's got a crit success, then she can totally use it there, and it negates everything except that Steam is going to take 1 stress.
And Nyx as well.
No, Nyx will not take a stress because Steam is leading the action. It's a group action.
Okay.
Right? Because everybody would individually roll, and then Steam would the highest result would be taken, but if there's any stress, it would be Steam taking that stress because of the result.
Okay.
So Steam takes 1 stress, and OC is going to use her critic success. Is that correct?
Sorry. What does using my crit success do if it's not?
It's a group challenge. We failed, you succeeded. So the whole group succeeds.
Okay.
The whole group would succeed.
Okay.
But I've got crit fails that I'd like to burn before the end because I want.
So are you going to
it
use
to be
that
a little
against
bit
my crit
dramatic.
success? Because then I'm not going to use it.
Well,
I think it's fair to ask if you're going to use a crit fail against my success.
He can't do that. He can declare it first, but he can't do
I
that.
only have 2. I was using it against the 2 and expecting you to only roll 2 dice.
Then I'll just roll 2 dice. Fuck it.
Well, no, but throw your crit success on it. That's perfectly fine. I've already used my fails. It's good. You're good. Unless you want to save your success.
Yeah, go ahead and save it. Let's see what the dice say. The dice will tell the story here.
So if I were to fail with my 2 die rolling, rolled poorly,
Right?
we would still have another chance. We're just at tuning. We're not
So this
at a later date if we wanted to revisit this.
At a later date. Yeah.
This isn't. I mean, okay. What you're doing right now is you're trying to metagame what actually is going to happen, right? You're trying to pre-succeed by asking me that question.
Well, I don't care if we fail. I could fail 100 times. I just want to know if that's like okay.
It would not,
I'm just
if
gonna
you
roll
fail,
it.
It would not be in the same way that you
Failed.
would gain the information, right? Wow.
That's why I
Okay.
didn't want to do that.
You can still use your crit success. You still have the option to use your crit success. I don't want there to be any bad blood about this. Okay? All right. So when you all tune, what happens is this. The 4 pages. Nyx, can you tell me how you laid them out? Did you try to figure out a way? Did you just place the 4 of them on the table as you're looking at this?
Oh, fuck you. Yes. The Codex Diablo is first.
Okay.
Followed by... I'm sorry, no. The Codex Noctum is first, followed by the Codex Diablo, followed by the Codex... What the hell's the other one?
Umbra and
Oh,
Machina.
I'm sorry. It's Umbra, Diablo, Noctum, Machina.
Okay, when you place them on the table, you notice that you did get them in some semblance of the correct order because at the corner, towards the center, there is what you see as 4 pieces of a pie, which actually resembles, when together, a 4-segment progress clock. Each page, in and of itself, looks like 1/4 of intricate designs. When you line them up, those designs begin to come together, and you see shapes in there. There are archaic ritual designs on the page, but they are written in a language that is not recognizable to any of you, except for one small piece, which indicates a flourish that resembles an example of demon text that Steam has seen previously. But as you continue to stare at it, it glows in a brilliant red, and the lines on the page become a brilliant white. And for just a second, you can hear screaming and crying so loud that even Raymond outside, if he was standing there, could hear it. And then a message appears, a single text piece of message appears at the top, crossing the top 2 pages. And it reads, "Not again." And the pages just stop. They diminish. Their color red goes back to the red that you know before. And whatever it is, whatever energy infused just kind of diminishes from it. And when you kind of snap out of it and you look at the pages in front of you, they're all slightly apart, as if they've been separated, and you haven't seen that. You didn't see that actually happen. It's just when the energy diminished, they were like that. And the one final thing that you get is something that Nyx gets from the research that he's done. There's a little symbol in the corner of the page for the Codex Diablo that means the Demon Princess. And that's where we're going to end it.
Son of a bitch. Fuck you, Johnny. All right, awesome session, guys. So that was Blaze of the Dark, 6 and 20. Season 3, it's the final season, so fuck it. We'll go around to our cast and crew, do our introductions, and then we'll discuss what our plans for the week are, and we'll throw a host over to our friend, the Bubbernaut. Johnny, for running that game, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's session?
I'm Johnny. I am the GM for 6 and 20, this crazy collaborative thing that we do across 3 channels. I also run the VideostoreCowboy channel. What do I think about tonight? I'm glad that the Shroud has finally accomplished something that basically was the culmination of everything coming together since episode 1. This was the reason that all the characters got together. One of the things that I'm really sad about is that we lost a player and she's not here to experience that. However, Steam has done a phenomenal job, but this is something that predates Steam, right? This is all the way back to the beginning. This is something that was set up a long time ago, right? So it's interesting for me to see the end game of that particular part of the storyline begin to happen for you guys. And I think it's going to be exciting because I think somewhere in the back of your minds, this was always lingering for the 3 players. What the fuck's going on with these books kind of thing. So I'm really excited to see how you react as that moves forward.
Sweet. Speaking of Greg taking over, Cash and Checks Stab next. Greg, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
Greg, Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter, and I liked it, man. I think that we had, it was one of we struggled a little bit in this one, and we don't usually struggle. And I think that this is what happens when we don't plan for about 80 hours before we go in, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, I think it was good, but the story was told in a different way, which I liked. I like the narrative elements that were thrown in. I like the dice were with us, the dice were against us. It's all part of RPG, and it's great, man. I had a blast playing it. You can obviously find me here. You can find me over on Encounter Roleplay on Mondays from 4:30 to 7:30, doing a little Tomb of Annihilation. Then you can see me on Wednesdays there from 1 to 4 Eastern doing Call of Cthulhu. You can see me on Saturdays from 6 to 9 on D&D doing Learn by Play. And on my own channel on Sundays from 7 to 9 doing a little 1933 Pulp Cthulhu action, which is fun, just like this. See you guys next week.
It's really awesome. Go check it out on his YouTube and watch live. We'll go over to somebody who had a lot of narrative hoops to jump through, including Heights. Mr. Ninja, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
I'm Xmas Ginger Ninja, playing OC, and I think tonight was pretty good. It could have gone smoother, but we always weasel our way out, so.
That's true. Speaking of weasels, Kratos Gaming, who are you? What are you doing here? And what did you think of tonight's episode?
What am I doing here?
No.
So I'm Slade. I'm a game master and a streamer over on the Crit Dice Gaming channel, where you can catch our new D&D 5th edition campaign, Shadow of a Tear, on Mondays 8 p.m. EST. And I'm got to agree with Johnny. It's started from episode 1 with these books, so I'm really interested in seeing where the hell these books are going to take us. The show's coming to a close, and I love the craziness that's happening.
Sweet. We enjoy it also, I believe. At least I think most of us do at any given time. So that was Blades in the Dark 6 and 20, guys. Don't worry, there will be more shows to come after this ends in approximately 8 more weeks. Won't tell you what it is exactly yet, but I'll tell you it's going to be cool. We'll be back tomorrow for Havoc in the Hinterlands. Some weird godly shit going on over there. I'll be back on Fridays for some video games, and Saturday, mark your calendars, is the all-day community stream where your ugly sweater shirt party. If you have an unMadeGaming ugly sweater, wear that, take a picture, hashtag unMadeSweater on the old Twitterverse there. And if you guys are not following us on your all of our awesome social media, please do so. Join us in Discord for that conversation. And right now we're going to go raid our friend, the Bubberknot, who's running his homebrew game, The Shackled City of D&D. Click that raid button, join that raid, and send all your hot, sticky raid love to the Bubberknot. And from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.